Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. I've just been trying to get some things sorted because obviously we've only got 4 teams today. Just been getting organized so people know what the dealio is. And the dealio is going to be the following. So we basically are going to do both semifinals and finals just one by one. So we're going to have 3 best of 5s, which is obviously not a lot, but hopefully we get some good games. And I coin flipped which series would play first because the seeds are just randomized anyway, so I just coin flipped who would play first and who would play second, and the winning team for the playing first was Lambo Spirit Hearthstone versus Wayne, Milky Cow, and Night Phoenix. So we're good. We're officially allowed to start already, so let's just get ourselves into it and get ready to kick on into Sleeping Giant. So it's back with Team Liquid map contest maps, so some different and new maps for the team games, and we'll have a look at these as we kind of go through them and everything, and we'll just see what the day gives us and brings us, and hopefully we have some good fun and some fun entertainment, and I just think it's going to be a good time in general personally, but let's see what happens. So we're going to start off, and these are going to be best of 5s. We're going to start off in the top left. I didn't get them to color coordinate as much as I should have done. Sorry, guys. Wayne, Night Phoenix, and Milky Cow in the top left-hand side, while it will be Spirit, Lambo, and Hearthstone teaming up in the bottom right. Terran Pro Zerg versus Terran Pro Zerg. A bit of everything here for 3v3 in a world where we have no idea what's up. Very, very exciting. Alrighty, so I'm going to kick things off and we get underway. I look to see what's going on. As you just see the couple bits and pieces setting up. And we'll take a few moments to get things underway here. Hopefully without too many issues. Oh, alright. I've had a hectic morning, I've not stopped since waking up to getting here right now, so let's enjoy some 3v3. We have a couple of cool teams, actually. Obviously, these 2 teams playing. The other team is ByuN, Ryung, and SHIN. They are going to be taking on SHOWTIME, Thermal, and SERRAL. So that's going to be our other 3v3 in a little while, just so you guys are aware. Let's have our probie checking around here early as we take a couple moments to get set up. A look to see just what is going on as we take a few moments. And yeah. And give me a couple seconds to double check something as well. Perfect. Alrighty, so Probie is moving about, Hatch, Gas, and Pool coming over, and we do have, obviously in the world of 3v3, probably a pretty hectic day ahead of us, realistically. 3v3, I mean 2v2 can already get pretty hectic. 3v3 really does kick it up a notch and, you know, brings it to this next level of mayhem a lot of the time. So, yeah. I'm excited to see what goes down. See, this probe is going to get chased around the marine, hunting that probe down as well, down to the bottom left-hand side here. We see the other couple of lings are going to make their way out down to the bottom right of the map also, as we just take a few moments to really, again, get the build set up. You see the double Stargate already coming down from Night Phoenix, so his intentions are shown right away. Might even be getting fed some gas here from someone to help him get to double Stargate. That said, he is also just skipping everything, right? So he's bypassing Warp Gate, he's bypassing initial units, because he's letting his opponent, or his teammates kind of deal with that phase of the game, and then you see double factory coming up from Milky Cow as well. Kind of the same idea. They're just playing very greedy and just kind of bypassing through as Wayne just sort of sets up, builds drones, builds queens, and just link speed for him on the way at the moment. They're still mining off that gas with just one worker. There's probably not too much feeding actually going on. Just very greedy openings here, and it doesn't look as though Hearthstone, Lambo, and Spirit so far are going to be doing much to change things themselves. I mean, no major aggression yet. You'll see Hearthstone is heading in towards a second Stargate and then Phoenix of his own, so he will get that up and running. And get that all a-rolling. So yeah, a couple of Hellions will just gather, and as you go up this ramp, an SCV maybe up for grabs. A couple of Depths will join in and support this as we go back and forth. A couple of shots coming around here. A few SCVs still going down. The Phoenix coming up overhead, and we'll get a couple of lift-offs. Phoenix continue to and just play cleanup, and that's why the Phoenix are powerful. Don't forget, we will obviously have Phoenix of Hearthstone showing up at some point as well. This Hellion goes for a couple more SCVs. It's actually going to get a few shots off right at the end of its life there. That really did do a lot more damage, and Milky Cow is the one on the receiving end of the damage dealt. Lambo with the melee upgrade currently opening us up. Let's talk about the map quickly, because obviously this is about exploring new maps in the TLMC team format. This is a kind of a simple 3 bases, down a layer, 3 bases, down a layer, into additional bases over here, or more bases up on top. So, yeah, in general, kind of gives a kind of a pretty typical and expected layout with a pretty narrow, a pretty short map when you think about it, right? Because there's only really this middle area between the bases. So, a lot to think on there as the Hellions are going to make their way through. And they're going to pick their way through a bunch of probies here so far. The Phoenix are coming across. They're going to see a lot of the Lings that are being made as well. Again, you expect these games to get chaotic. We're already kind of on the way to that. As the Phoenix is going to trade with the Phoenix, we go back and forth a little bit. Cyclone going to be right there. Phoenix taking a few more shots, going to dive in. Hearthstone wants to commit to this. He has less Phoenix, but he has got the Cyclone support, so that's going a long way. Meanwhile, the Zerglings on the other side of the map are just going to be running up. The Lings and the Queens are going to be getting there. As you see, melee upgrade, and 20 more Zerglings still producing through as the Lings of Lambo pull back down to the bottom right-hand side. Got a Pulse Crystals upgrade going as well as the Phoenix range, and obviously cranking out 3 Phoenix at a time. We are down by just 1 Phoenix here as Hearthstone. I think that's somewhat manageable overall. What's interesting is you already see the air armor upgrade on the way from Night Phoenix, so he's really investing into these Phoenix, battling against the other Phoenix, and really trying to get them as protected as possible. Factor on the way, Hellion Cyclone coming through at the vehicle plating and the mag field up as well. Just going to keep that coming online. The orbital command floating out. Well, the upgrade will be done in just a few moments. You have the Phoenix still gathering up overhead, and the 1/1 upgrades plus 2 melee, 5. A little bit of everything coming about. The Overlords in addition to that also. And these Zerglings still checking themselves around into the center. Also trying to see a little bit more of what is up. Scan coming down. I'm going to see a lot of Lings running in over here. The Phoenix are going to go after the other Phoenix. And that's actually pretty nice up in the skies. Those Phoenix getting feisty with each other. So a lot of units on the ground right now. Do we have enough to hold on here as Hearthstone, Lambo, and Spirit? Spirit does not seem to have much to say in this game. The Phoenix are being pushed back from Hearthstone. The supplies are just looking great here for our team in the top left. And it does look as though they are maybe en route to a solid position here in this opening game, as they just crash on forward and crash on through. That low ground base is always going to be a fairly easy one to attack into. There's a lot of open space attacking in here. I mean, this is just a case of them just out-macroing and out-massing. And they are going to take game 1 of this best of 5 3v3. As it all goes wrong there for Hearthstone, Lambo, and Spirit. Alright, that's our first game of the day, done just like that. They will get to pick map number 2 from the remaining 4 maps that are in the map pool. Baal Peak, Incognito, Radiator, and Tacket Sanctity. So give them a couple of moments, they can make their choices. And we can try and get ourselves into this this next game, guys. So again, appreciate you taking a moment. Alright guys, just in with a quick player question. We should be able to get back to this. If I don't mistype the map name, then it would be even faster. Couple of moments, guys. Incognito. Perfect. Close this up and get map number 2 on the way, guys. I was trying to keep things moving quickly. I feel bad that our team has, the other teams have to kind of just sign up and instantly wait to play, but hard to really know exactly what the deal is going to be when we start up on the day, and we don't know how many people are going to sign up, etc. So take a moment, and if everyone is ready, we can head into game number 2 of our 3v3 here, guys. Thanks for joining us again. Team Liquid Map Contest, Team Map Tournament, and ready and go being called. Everyone's settling down and get ready to kick this off. Away we go. Alright, let's head into Incognito. It's going to be the team in the bottom left that are going to be down a map here. It is Spirit, Harstem, and Lambo, as they are going to be taking on the trio in the upper right, featuring Wayne, Nakmal, and Night Phoenix. Nakmal being Milky Cow as well, as we get into this one. Yeah, they actually changed colors a little bit, which helped. I think maybe Wayne should have been purple, and then Harstem could have been yellow. But it's fairly watchable. We get to a point in 3v3 and 4v4 where matching the colors becomes more and more difficult anyway. So all good. Just a little note. I was trying to think about how I could do it, and I couldn't get that in my head. But now I see them in game. Yeah, if Harstem goes yellow and Wayne just took purple, that probably would have been good, but we can roll like this as well. Honestly, Wayne green's probably fine too if we just had Harstem yellow. Anyways, yeah, so the question we had asked was about playing on the resource tax mod. I'm going to actually have to ask about that for probably not today, but for 4v4 and 2v2. So there is a mod which stops the feeding, where one player just kind of feeds resources to other players, and that's how you can get up to a crazy amount of certain units very quickly, right? So it's definitely kind of a good question. I think it's probably it's interesting because obviously we are testing these maps to potentially join the ladder, and on the ladder you do not play with that. So it is kind of an interesting question. I'll ask about after today, though. I don't think we can throw it in as the tournament's already started, but maybe the players and the other teams will make a mutual agreement. You know what, yesterday in the 2v2 we didn't see too much feeding anyway, so I didn't even really think about it, but as we get to 3v3 and 4v4, it might actually become a bit more of a factor. And again, we do have 3v3 today, but then tomorrow will be 4v4 day, so 4v4 tomorrow should actually be a bunch of fun as well. So looking forward to that. Should be enjoyable. Should be some good fun as the Reaper of Spirit will head towards the upper right-hand side, and Overlord moving out here initially. There's a bit of aggression on the map as Harstem has proxied up a gateway, so it looks as though we might just be going for the full-on bust version of things right here. This is another map that takes that kind of 3 base high ground into 3 base on the next layer, and then out into, again, kind of a couple bases and then other bases elsewhere available. So similar kind of aspect to the last map. Obviously does lay out a bit differently, but right now we are, like I say again, aggressive. There's going to be an Overlord that goes down here, as we have All the aggression ready to hit soon. Spirit's only just now expanding as he's been building a lot of Reapers. Lambo about to have the Baneling Nest. Hearthstone about to have the Warpins on the top side of the map. He's just missing his Warp Gate, so they're setting up. All the things are going to be here and ready extremely soon. We're just not quite there yet. As we come pushing across the map now with everything ready to get in position. Stalkers get there, and as he goes down, the bunker actually going to be halted at almost full completion. Would be nice to actually finish that up. The Stalkers need to prioritize onto the Oracle here. That's going to be a main aim. Otherwise, the Oracle will get way too much done. I actually like this so far from the aggressive team. You obviously do have a lot of Banelings that are yet to be used, and they are even just a threat to kind of force units back throughout this. That's a hell of a time for a pause to come in. Fair enough. I mean, you know, that is a hell of a time for a pause, but that was also a that was also a very apparent issue. Pause. Question mark, lags. Ascalon, thank you so much for the 68-month resub. How you doing? Thank you so much for 5+ years of support on the channel and growing towards 6. Appreciate it. We just take a moment then, guys, before we head out here into this. Looks as though we are going to ready up. I didn't know if everyone was ready, and then he just starts counting down. Alright, Stalker's going to push up. And obviously they are going to get the Oracle. That was toward the batteries, which is what I was worried about. That stasis does catch a lot of units, but the Stalkers and the Banes that are left over seem to be enough for the moment anyways. A couple of Banes crash through. Void Ray overhead is going to try and activate the... I mean, again, it's about the anti-air, the Void Ray, and so maybe the things that can really help out enough overall. We can just keep them alive. There's no batteries to the right-hand side, though, and that's what concerns me. The batteries are on the low ground, and that might be a problem. The Void Ray now going to get jumped on. Oh, we do turn it towards the batteries, though, and that is absolutely huge. Are we defending here? There's a couple of Banelings still left alive. They go down now. Hellions alive as well. I think this is actually becoming a defense at the moment. It does look as though we're going to have ourselves a hold being made. I mean, do we have... I mean, the problem is we've got no Banes up right now. The Ling count is very low. The Stalker count is still reasonable from Hearthstone, but it's going to become tougher and tougher as 2 Void Rays are already out. Now going to see the Queens maybe stepping a bit too far forward there. If you kill that pylon, it's going to depowers the battery that is lower on energy, so it's not ideal. But we've got to be super careful. Do not want to step into the spines on the top side. As you see the Voids activating Prismatic, and those Stalkers have just not been enough to get through the Void Rays. Hearthstone was moments away from really getting rid of one of those Voids, and those batteries are now completely drained, but those batteries really did a lot, and Hearthstone lost all of his Stalkers now, and I think that might just be the guaranteed hold at this point. Twilight Council drops in from Hearthstone, Nexus on the way. I mean, the fact that they've not expanded right really does spell out where this game is going, which is in the favor of the team that is already up 1-0 in the BO5. So this semi-final is quickly turning towards Night Phoenix, Milky Cow, and Wayne. On the other side of the map, a few Lings are going to run through. The Queen goes down. Reapers are going to pull back as well. The Lings are going to sneak by up into the main base where they're going to try and find some additional damage. That's definitely a lag spike once again. No pause this time. And this time lag is a little bit longer too, so we're back. And no one pauses, so we're just going to resume to it. Yeah, these Lings snuck in. They are going to get dealt with pretty evenly. That's not so bad. Spirit trying to get up towards Stimpack. Looking at supplies here, obviously we've got kind of comparable races, right? But it is, honestly, everyone's even apart from just Hearthstone trails heavily on Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix, who's now going to start building 2 Phoenix at a time. We know just how good those Phoenix can be when they get to good numbers. And we've got the Void Rays here to potentially harass a little bit as well, and they do start to try and find something with that over those next few moments. Feelings around the left, clearing up that gateway that Hearthstone had proxied with early in the game. Oh, this is nice. The Reapers and the Lings actually going to get some free catches and actually going to do very well for themselves, chasing the Cyclones, going to get rid of those Hellions as well. Opportunity time, perhaps, because a lot of what's been, available to defend with was those Void Rays. Without them around, these Reapers try and get a little bit more done. They do start to get handled. The Phoenix lifting a couple up definitely helps. Lings looking for a cancel on this Nexus. Maybe run up to the high ground there was a little bit too much. Maybe could have sat on the low ground. Yeah, could have maybe sat on the low ground and just helped cancel up this Nexus, perhaps. And again, a few more Zerglings just step away for the moment. 1-1 upgrades on Stimpack, all on the way through. Medivacs and Marines coming up. The barracks are on the way onwards. The Marines settle into the center. Well, Phoenix going to come by. A couple of drones getting picked away at. Phoenix still cruising about on the left as the Queen's going to be there. We are going to fire a shot up. Queen going to be in some trouble as it gets lifted up into the skies, so Queen will go down. The Ledge is going to continue to gather about. The Hellions and the Cyclones joining up as well. Still heading down to the lower left for a couple more moments. Marine's gonna at least get rid of some of these Hellions, so something going their way again. I mean, the problem is still going to be you're playing off that deficit from earlier. That said, though, I mean, they actually killed a lot of Milky Cow stuff, so you do have Night Phoenix looking strong, but the other players maybe not looking as crazy as they were. Well, actually, Lambo's being kind of bullied. I didn't realize Lambo was getting bullied so hard, I guess, by these Phoenix. So Wayne does take a serious advantage there, so we're putting a lot of hopes on Spirit, the leading supply, when, again, you directly compare the races and their supply counts at the moment. These Stalkers are going to try and go after Phoenix, but there's just a lot of Phoenix, quite frankly. And then the mech units are starting to show up as well. I mean, the Stalkers and the Die aren't dying quickly, but it is getting a little bit dangerous. Things going back around. DT still moving about. Marines are going to get their Nexus. It looks as though it's going to get popped, so the Nexus will fall as well. Concussive Charge coming up. Marine Marauder on the way in. We're just going to be seeing the Stalkers going to be there to go after the Assimilator as well. There's a couple of Ravagers still getting picked away out. A couple of Roaches being taken down. Stalkers trying to get through. Bio Army pushing forward. Just going to sit there and do a lot of work. Those Phoenix and Trolling, honestly, not a bad time to push, because you got to try and do something. Whoa, they're leaving. They're getting out of here. Spirit's actually going to do it. My goodness, Spirit is actually going to do it. I was going to say, not a bad time to push, because the other guys are still setting up a bit. Carriers on the way, but not really here yet, and they're actually going to get it done. GG is called after the return and the comeback in this game. Spirit putting the team on his back. Crazy business. Alright, that was Incognito, guys, as we'll go to Radiator Tacket Sanctity, or Baal Peak. Baal Peak. B-A-A-L Peak. I'm not sure how I'm meant to say that, but those are the ones that we have left up. So we'll see what the map pick is here. It's currently tied up 1-1. And we get ready for our next game of the day. Thank you for joining us again. Appreciate you guys being here for some 3v3. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on today as well, especially RSL and so on, but we still got to find some time to stream and do some events here and there as well, so yeah, good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Tactic Sanctity going to be the next map. I wanted to pick this map earlier, and I was like, you can't pick the map order, it's loser's pick, and they're like, oh. Couple of moments then. Gonna get some colors picked out. Milky Cow's gonna take a moment as well, check his internet. All good there, looking reasonable. Alright, looking good. If everyone's ready, we can go into this next one. Man, that was a sick time, and like I say, Spirit going across the map. Again, lost a bit in the chaos of 3v3, but we actually did manage to just come through and get back on track there. So nicely handled. I was just waiting for teams to ready up, and once they're readied up, we can kick this into play. Go, GLHF, goes. Perfect. We're good. Yeah, everyone just take a moment to ready up. The scene, so tacit instead of tacit. That probably makes more sense. Tacit, why am I going to call it industry? Is tacit sanctity. Don't know why. The 2v2 map names yesterday were a breeze. 3v3 has been a mouthful for me so far today. Whoa. No countdown. But we'll handle that. I think that we got something I can message on easily. Cool, so this is a very different layout to the two maps we've seen so far, with, you know, these bases all being separated and then leading down into this confined kind of natural area. Again, this always kind of leads to the idea of, if one team gets super aggressive, can they just bully their way up into one player's base, and it's very difficult for the other guys to come down and join in. There's actually a lot of gap, especially this far left base here, so Wayne's base, and over here, Spirit's base is particularly far away from the teammates. It does look as though Night Phoenix, Wayne, and Milky Cow have some aggressive intentions. They might be looking toward that exact plan right off the bat. There's a scout coming, and Hearthstone will be able to identify, okay, we can see what's going on here, we can see you're being aggressive, but how quickly, and is it going to be in time? And again, how do you collect together your defense here? Who do they team on as well? Is a good question. Like, do you team on the Terran, who might be able to stay walled off and provide a little bit more defense for himself? Do you team on one of the other races here, which may be an easier target, but is in a closer position defensively for a teammate to help out? Be interesting to see who they pick on as the 4 gateways come up from Night Phoenix. So I can only imagine he's getting a little bit of money off Wayne, and he's going to start cranking out the Zealots, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Cybercore maybe come down here. It's very expensive, though. Couple gateways both coming out. Just going to be seeing the extra gates finishing then. Again, we have scouted on the other side, right? So Hearthstone is noticing now a lack of structures. Unfortunately, he notices that this is obviously a little bit late because he scouted the Zerg first. So took a while to get here. And now they have to start defending. Surely they have to start bunkering up. An extra barracks goes down from Spirit already. Hearthstone expanding. Cybercore about to be done. Well, they're going to bunker at the front. I don't think we've got time for that. Well, yeah, I mean that feels like a little bit of a rough affair. Obviously, now it's going to be straight up unit production, but you're going to be heavily outproduced. Is the reality of this situation right now, and that's going to make this very difficult. The Reaper is being chased. The Zealot's coming over. Again, the second barrack should help. Spinecrawler coming up from Lambo, so you'll try and get a bit of defense going on the low ground. Hearthstone's Nexus will complete. I think Spirit may have to cancel his command center. That might be the easiest target to get taken down right now, but he's going to want to keep it up as long as possible because he wants these units to focus on cancelling it, right? For now, that is a way in which he can buy time to give himself an edge and an advantage. Is that going to stop on the depot here? I don't love that. I think that's just giving up free damage. You should probably be trying to chase for the most part. Reaper count getting high as well from Milky Cow as we step on through. We are going to be seeing the Bane Nest coming up from Lambo is going to be a big deal. Banes won't have speed or anything, but it's definitely going to put you in a big helping position. Wayne's starting to show up with a few lings as well. There's Hearthstone's Nexus in trouble. We can afford to lose bases here, I think. I mean, Milky Cow is going to expand behind this already. Again, Link speed finishing soon. The Banes are going to be a big deal breaker. The Banes are going to help a lot against these Lings, for example. Against Zealots as well. Like, there's a lot of ways in which the Banes can be very effective, and they are going to finish in a moment or two. Hearthstone bringing a couple of Adepts back down this ramp. Good control from these guys so far. Grenades going off. The Banelings could be target fired down by the Reapers. That's my biggest concern for these Banelings, perhaps. The Zealots all got caught in a full surround by the Lings, as that is going to be a defense for the moment. I don't hate this, honestly. Like, that was a pretty good defense. Obviously, if you lose these gateways and these barracks as well, you do end up in trouble. So in the long term, there really is kind of reason to keep on pressing here as the aggressor team. and trying to really kind of make, get this point to settle on in and to get this brought on home. A couple more grenades going down. Oh, both the Adepts getting bopped there and taking some hefty damage. Again, the Banelings are going to struggle to get in reach of the Reapers. They really need the Banes to be used against probably just the Lings. Because again, hitting the Adepts as well is also going to be an issue. Spirits Marines go down left in the open. Lambo does get a Spine Crawler forward. There's not a lot that really deals with the Spine super well. Reapers again target firing down Banes. We're going to try and morph a couple more Banelings in, trying to protect this incoming Nexus of Hearthstone. Put the Spirit up to back over here. Just Marines producing CC available in his base. He's even got a factory up, so he's getting a Hellion on the way out as well, which is also useful. This is a bit too much momentum on the aggressive team side, though. Like I say, there have been expansions back at home. Night Phoenix is not expanded, but Milky Cow has done. Wayne has done. Ryan even going toward 3 bases now. Oracle is a nice addition from Hearthstone. Will be able to zap down, and there's no anti-air here, so the Stargate defense is very solid. And we'll continue to build some Oracles from here on out. And it makes perfect sense. There's no anti-air at all right now. I mean, we will begin to build Stalkers here instead as Night Phoenix, so he will get some of those out as a comparison. Depth jump onto the Banelings. The few Zerglings are coming over. Queen going to try and fight a little bit. The Lings are rocking up. Obviously trying to get a bit of a surround, and the other Lings are making it difficult as well. Those Stalkers now showing up. They're going to be the answer to the Oracles. Is that going to be good enough? The drones try and get back to mining. The Lings back onto this Nexus. Hearthstone trying to re-expand multiple times over so far. Going to have a battery here, and he's actually going to make a play to try and defend this Nexus. Stalkers, their priority will be the Oracle, of course. No. The Oracle needs to be careful there. Running very far forward. Gotta be super cautious with it. Again, another cancel on the Nexus is going to make this a little bit tougher of a situation to deal with overall as the Lings gather back through. Stalkers moving up. Lings are going to go running through. Marines are going to be right there as well, running on by. Queen just going to get picked away at. The Stalker still stepping forward. Battery in some trouble. A couple of Banes going to get knocked away at here as well. Marines still going after some of the Zerglings, and we do chase Reaper and Stalker away. Cyclone as well back through to the center. Wings in the main base going to come around also. Force come down, but the Marines say, let's fight. Stepping on forward, and they're going to get rid of a lot of these units. Obviously, Marines are now upgraded, so they're going to trade very well against a lot of these units. And Spirit is once again getting to that very powerful point. The Lings zone the Cyclones away to the top side. Oh, this is a big moment right there for sure. As it is definitely, I think, most concerning Night Phoenix, who has nothing back at home either. So if he loses power to these gates, if this position is broken down, that is genuinely a problem in the long term here. Got the Bane still trying to zone out those Zerglings. Oh my goodness, the Lings actually touched the Baneling there. The Baneling did not detonate, however. And yeah, we're going to go after these pylons, and that does shut down all the production of Night Phoenix, who is then what? Going to send his money over to a teammate? Don't know what else he can do. Oh, he didn't kill off the pylon. Surely that's worth it. There's no way it's not. I don't know what we thought we were going to lose there, but there's no way that wasn't worthwhile. Thing's going to try and run up, jump onto the tank. They take a shot coming in. The Marines are kind of low HP, which is the biggest problem right now. Extralings getting here as Lambo gets in front to play the defense as well. I'll tell you what, Milky Cow's supply is huge, 110. But his teammate supply is so low in comparison. It's 110, 35, 40, 50. So what? We're adding up to about 195 there versus Lambo, Hearthstone, and Spirit are all about 75. So they're at like 225. So sorry, I keep getting confused with Nachtmar being Milky Cow. But Milky Cow is in a position right now where he's in a crazy good spot in terms of supply for himself, but the support from his teammates is going to be minimal, especially right now. Night Phoenix, you can't even do anything and waiting for new structures to come online. He's going to go Stargates. They try and push forward with more aggression over here. The Ling's looking for the third hatchery of Lambo, but Lambo gets across, defends that. He's getting the Roaches now as well, so much more comfortable composition for him. Hearthstone is already going to be ahead on the Phoenix count as well, as he begun to build those a little while ago already. Sorry guys, it is 1-1 in this best of 5. I got carried away at the start. It is indeed 1-1. Being chaotic as well, not been looking at chat. You just see the units gathering up, another couple of structures coming down. Phoenix going to sit right there and continue to try and push on through. +1 vehicle weapons, Infernal, Pre-Igniter, all coming online. Field Accelerator will be finishing very shortly as the upgrades all continue to come about. I mean, this is, again, a lot of mech units is just... that is it. That is their entire team's kind of play at the moment. Can Milky Cow kind of swarm up towards something that's too much for this opposition to really deal with it all? Maybe. Big drop on the other side, and they're going to target Milky Cow as well, which I love, because he has been obviously the powerhouse of this team. So you knock him down a little bit, take out a CC, stop some mining. That's a big deal. I love this lift and leave as well. Oh, but the Phoenix were waiting for it. However, then the Phoenix come in and they're going to save the medevacs, and we get the jump into this. So actually a great moment there. The Marines are going to stim at the rest of this. Actually, probably still going to end up losing a lot of these units. Hearthstone needs to get out of here. He doesn't actually want to fight these Cyclones. He actually lost a lot of the Phoenix there in the end, and just because he was coming back in, they should have cut their losses on the drop in the end. At first, it was a very cool save. It ended up being not quite as cool of a save because of how much it cost you. Like I say, Hearthstone especially, who had a Phoenix lead before, is now going to be equal on Phoenix. This fight breaking out. That's Lambo's Roaches, which are in very good numbers. And the Stalkers on the ground of Night Phoenix do not look like they're doing much. The Phoenix lifting a chunk of these Cyclones as well. Slings on the other side going to continue to come through and will continue to fire. Actually, third Hatchery Lambo probably goes down here, so these Lings counterattacking doing well. At the same time, we are still big pushing this right-hand side, looking to get forward. Widowmine, great split from a Marine on the Widowmine. Don't have to split against mines all day as a Terran player usually, but that was a great example of how to do it when it's needed. With Ravager joining up, the Phoenix is going to go firing through. 2 more Marines step forward as well. Spire, Lings, +2 melee, all coming about. The Widowmine still producing at the command centers on as well. Tank shot after tank shot coming through at the moment, so still just getting a lot of that damage coming by as we sit here. And the tanks really do put a lot of work in. The Lings looking for the full wraparound on this Zealot Stalker Force. That's going to be a nice catch. Austin losing out big time on his supply. What the supply is at 140, 145, and 100. So what, 245, 345, 370? About 370 versus 340 overall. So it's definitely still leaning towards Spirit, Hearthstone, and Lambo. Whereas Wayne, Milky Cow, and Night Phoenix, that Nakmar is just, it's killing me, man. It's killing me. Yeah. I keep just going through the names I'm reading. Obviously, trying to translate Milky Cow, my head's not going well. Anyways, tank is sieged up. The Planetary Fortress in trouble. Command Center going to be in trouble as well, as we do see the CC getting cancelled up. The tanks are still firing. These tanks laying siege upon the Monster Energy logo. Shout out to Monster Energy who are helping us power up throughout this TLMC. We wouldn't be here finding new maps without them, so shout out to those guys. As this base in the front of Milky Cow in some serious trouble. He's attacking again, though, and the base of Spirit might be in trouble too. And as the SCVs begin to go down, these tanks really are putting in the work. We actually pull a lot of bio units back here. Awesome's Phoenix trying to get involved as well. As the medevacs go down, not sure how impactful they were going to be, but we do push this back. CC did die, however. It's going to be the main base relocating from Spirit to try and set up a fourth now. Roaches and Boron in mineral lines of Wayne as we try and hit some Zerg on Zerg economy. As the Lings get there pretty quickly to defend it. A lot of positioning around the center now. The Phoenix take a bit of a fight. The Corruptors are going to show up. Corruptors not really something you want to fight with the Phoenix because they're extremely tanky, but in this case, Hearthstone is going to get some good shots off because nothing was supporting those Corruptors during that trade out. Lambo now has Infestors added on as well, so with a few Spellcasters introduced, that's going to be a major benefit as well, you would imagine. Marines gather back. The Phoenix overhead. Still got the upgrades all coming about. Overlord speed, Lings coming through as well. Widowmines, Cyclones, Siege tanks gathering as well. As a few Marines step up, the Widowmine will go down. Base on the left side. That's actually a gold base here. It's the same one the Spirit's trying to take on the right. So that gold coming through. Is there anything else interesting on these external bases? Obviously a lot to take in. On a big map that's full of 3v3 action from the start. It's been pretty exciting so far. Obviously, this map really does have that kind of early game aspect to it with the fact that layout does encourage some of the early aggression, but Once we got past that part, it's been very fun. That's a Widow Mine into the mineral line. You don't see that a lot in Terran versus Terran. That's what team games are good for, giving you those situations that do not arise as much during the other matchups. And Phoenix is going to come through, a couple lifts coming off this Roger Ravager force trying to fight. The Cyclone's being held back. Drops on the main base, going to get a spawn, a few more drones. There are Lings trying to run by once again. A lot going on to kind of keep track of, so there is going to get messy where, you know, units are going to be let in, attacks are going to be allowed to happen. This Phoenix coming through and going to get a little bit more cleanup done right there. Harry and the +3 attack weapon are coming through, got the armor upgrade on as well. Hearthstone still investing heavily into those Phoenix. Getting some lock-ons here, though. Oh, we're going to get Fungal off, but those Phoenix are going to lift the Infestors, and there's no support here for Lambo. There are the Phoenix showing up from Hearthstone just a little bit late to the party, and now has to be careful because of mines and cyclones. But yeah, Lambo loses some of his tech units there. It's now 200, 150, and 150 supply versus the 200, 140, 100. Again, it has been constantly kind of favoring Spirit, Lambo, and Hearthstone. But these counterattacks of Wayne have done a lot to kind of slow down the opposing team. They've cancelled a bunch of bases. The mech force has been very proactive in kind of taking map control and getting a lot done wherever possible as well. Corruptors flying overhead of the Marine force is not exactly ideal though, so they're going to get picked away. It obviously opens the door maybe to these Phoenix getting involved. It's wild because the Phoenix want to just dive in and fight, but then everyone at this point has a lot of good answers to Phoenix, but then it's still very good to have the Phoenix for when you get into a fight where those answers are not fully set up. Again, that massive Widow Mine is just burrowing and unburrowing. This base of Spirit goes down once more. We are across the map with Roaches here. They're going to run up against some Zerglings, so not exactly going to be ideal. Chaos continuing to ensue as we have the Phoenix going to go back up against one another. Viper's going down to Widow Mines now as well. I mean, this continues to just be absolutely messy. Lambo's supply is dropping fast as he's just getting bullied by these units. Apparently they can't get in enough to do much against these Phoenix. The Marines here are going to unload. They're going to be in a corner at least against the Zerglings. Might have to stim again. The Phoenix continue to go down. Is that a lurker I see? I believe there's a lurker out in play as well. Meanwhile, Corruptors, of course, straight down Spirit's main base. My goodness, I gotta say, if we win this game as Milky Cow and company, then credit to Milky Cow. His supply has unwaveringly been up there the entire time. I get he's playing mech. It's maybe the hardest composition to deal with on the map right now. The other guys are forced into lackluster kind of lower tech comps. That's a massive first fungal, by the way. Second fungal going to be decent, but we'll get some healing done. We'll not lose any of those Marines, at least to the fungal alone. Spirit losing medevacs. They try and fly over here. We got to deal with this mech army. Whoa, the carriers are here. Hello. Awesome time, baby. He shows up with the carriers, and there's not much answer to that. The Widow Mines do some work onto the interceptors, but they are going to try and prioritize chasing those tanks down. Might be worth getting rid of these mines, but apparently we don't have detection, so we're just tanking the mine shots for now as we continue across to the other side of the map. Yeah, carriers in full swing. Falls on the way from Milky Cow, who once again apparently has to be the answer to absolutely everything for his team so far. There's not been anything he's been able to do without issues being caused. Those Marines coming about, damage being done, Cyclones pulling back, missile turrets are going to come into play. Roach is going to go in and get after a couple more drones. 18 minutes deep, and yeah, I just saw in chat, this is utter chaos. It really is! And that's kind of the beauty of 3v3. You kind of just have to sit back and just enjoy it for what it is, which is chaotic. It's hard to track every single great move. It's hard to kind of get the general sense of the game overall sometimes. You just gotta enjoy each engagement for what it is and watch the numbers swing one way and the other. I mean, we get a storyline in this game, which is truly that, you know, Milky Cow's supply has been extremely effective. Those lurkers helping now. The Widow Mines, because of no detection, are getting so much done. They keep firing. They fired a second time on almost every single mine. That's kind of crazy considering how much value they're getting. That just shouldn't be a thing. Lings instantly show up on this gold base as well. Those Lings all game long. They're not great for these later game fights, which is why they're struggling defensively sometimes. But they are amazing at running by and keeping the other team back a lot, and that's exactly what's been going on. But can we push in here? Probably not. The Infestors on the ramp are extremely scary, threatening the fungal growths. But you kind of just, we can't really kind of go in slowly against the fungals. You got to go in quickly because of the tanks. So it's making this very complicated. We're going to try and dive now. The fungal does go down, so we are going to make the catch. Flings are going to try to get to the main base. They will be stopped. Apparently nothing showing up to deal with that just yet. Hearthstone needs more interceptors to aid his carriers. There are a couple carriers out from Night Phoenix, but not really enough just yet. The Mothership showing up from Hearthstone as well. Actually going to be quite nice against those interceptors, no? I'm going to start fighting against the Phoenix too. It's another thing to think on here. Fungal Growth going down, helping against those clumped up Phoenix. Carriers pulling back a little bit. Corruptor's diving through. Spirit's still trying to push in on the top side of this battle. Spirit's only on 90 supply. He's one of the lowest supplies in the game right now. I mean, Hearthstone has to do a lot of carrying at the moment. There is a lot of value put on his army. He is the strongest army in this game. And I'm worried because what I feel like is happening is that we're getting to Night Phoenix and Milky Cow both having competitive later game armies. And if that happens, I'm not sure if Hearthstone can kind of fight, you know, both of them at once. Versus just Milky Cow, maybe it was fine. Lambo's army is getting to be techier. It's a lot of spellcasters, but that doesn't necessarily bode well in a scrappy game against these later game forces he's playing against. Spirit is just doing whatever he can. 60 supply. He might actually just be out of this game. Those run-bys have been absolutely killer on Spirit non-stop. They have just been going right at him this entire time. Phoenix come back around. Marine getting lifted up. Lings and SCVs continue to traverse the pathways. Things run through. Marines are going to shoot. A couple shots coming around. Lings will pull across. Going to go after the orbital command, after the SCVs and Marines. Again, Spirit's down on 30 supply. He really is. I think he's out of here, man. And I think it's just been Milky Cow who's been so solid throughout. Look at the resources lost. You can see that Spirit lost a lot more this game. Everyone else is kind of even. It's the bases that are mining in the corners which are really going uncontested. You know, we've not been able to hit down a base of Milky Cow, Night Phoenix and company for a very long time, whereas they've been constantly on top of the bases of the opposition, making this extremely tough. Carrier, the Oracle's coming through, this Phoenix force, oh sorry, Carrier force still pressing forward. So those carriers are huge. You do see the Neural coming up from the Lambo, and I think that's extremely important as well. I think he's going to have to be a major kind of role, or take a major role in this fight. I just think everyone from Milky Cow's team is contributing right now, where it's kind of like a 2v3, but yeah, all three players really are getting to be powerful, and I just can't help but feel that Night Phoenix, especially being able to get up to 11 carriers, is starting to be just a little bit too much. Right now, these carriers are putting work in. Hearthstone is pushing around and getting things done. We're actually going to see the Ghost getting fungal death. That's another nice catch. And we don't really kind of see the banks of the players. There is more banked up for Wayne and Milky Cow than there is for anyone else right now. Nice abduct on the Lurker as well. We're probably going to have to see the bigger fight breaking out here. Parasitic Bomb drops into the carriers already. Oh, what are we going to be able to do in comparison? Parasitic Bombs, Fungal Growth's going down. Microbial Shroud's coming down too. It's utter chaos. But those Thors are putting in work against the carriers. Hearthstone's army gets depleted. And that is going to be game called. What a defense by Milky Cow and Co. And Milky Cow in general. I mean, this was a ridiculous game when Milky Cow was the only player on that team to have a substantial supply the entire way through. Absolute utter chaos takes them to a 2-1 lead in the best of 5. And what a game of 3v3. It was a great game. That was a great game. Can we bounce back? Battle Peak or Radiator going to be our two maps. Going to be Radiator. Beautiful. Alright, we get Radiator up and running here, guys. Going to be map number 4. Let's just take a moment to join the lobby. Milky Cow should send his back to his struggling teammates. It's an interesting prospect, right? Because here's my counter argument, right? if you send your bank to your teammates, that would make sense if you had like 5k, 5k. But because you only had like 2k, 1k, that's enough for him to realistically be like, oh, I lost a few units, let's replace them. He doesn't want to end up in a position where he sends money over to his teammates who maybe don't have the production to make use of it anyway straight away. So he doesn't want to do that. And, let me switch colors. He doesn't want to do that and kind of end up it just not working. Like I say, if you had 5k, 5k and you can send a bunch off, then that's fine. But you want to be able to kind of rebuild quickly a lot of the time, right? And make sure you've got the resources ready to rebuild when you need them is what it comes down to. So, yeah. I think, like, in certain scenarios probably could have done it. Maybe he did at points. But, obviously at the end you're thinking, well, he's got a lot of money. Sometimes it's okay to sit on that money. If you don't help your allies, you're on a timer because if you max out, there's no more growth. And I think that's true, but also, like, in the game they were playing, the trades were constant. I think Milky Cow was always spending his money. So I think having 2k, 1k sat there, especially when you're playing mech, if you lose, like, 4 Thors, that's your entire bank gone. You know? Like, you don't have to lose a lot of units for that bank to get eaten up quickly. So yes, if they're sat back and nothing's happening, absolutely send that money around. But when you're constantly fighting and you're the powerhouse player on your team, I think you actually do want to keep some of it, because like I say, being able to make sure that you are constantly at full strength when you need to be is 100% very important too. Alright, the scoreboard set up and get into game number 4 here. Can Lambo, Hoster, and Spirit come back from the 1-2 deficit? They came back from 0-1 deficit already. The money sent into the teammates also convert into units too, so they'll have more total units. Yes. But again, it depends on what period of time you're looking at, right? Because yes, you may have more total units, but realistically, how important were the units of Night Phoenix and Wayne versus the units of Milky Cow? Milky Cow's army was what was truly winning pretty much all of these fights. And so him being able to always have his army back on track, I mean, considering where Night Phoenix and Wayne were at points of that game, I wouldn't be surprised if Milky Cow had sent money over to them at some point. But I don't think him sitting on 2k, 1k is that much of a crazy scenario. There's also the question of, as well as, like, because your teammates have been poorer throughout the game, there's also this weird concept of, like, because they've been poorer throughout the game, they may have the production to support the income they currently have. If you suddenly send them 2k, 1k, that doesn't actually necessarily equate into units, because if they don't have the production, then those units will not get built, right? If they're already at production at max facilities, then they would still have to add production on and then build units out of that new production, so it's a way further down the line factor, right? I mean, you say, let's say Night Phoenix has 3 more carriers, but Night Phoenix already had his Stargates full of carriers in production, right? So yeah, I think it's a very interesting, it's a very fun discussion. But I think Milky Cow is okay to have some money floating now. And honestly, I don't think Night Phoenix having 3 more carriers, say you just instantly transfer that money into 3 more carriers, I actually think that is worse than just having Milky Cow able to re-add Thors as he loses them, because the Thors are so much more higher value. This goes kind of wrong very quickly as units go down right off the bat there. You're going to be seeing, obviously, a lot of base coming online. Spirit is expanding down to the low ground. Awesome expanding. Lambo getting his third base up. It's going to be the orange and red team who are not quite as quick to... I say not quite as quick to expand, but it's mostly just on the fact that Wayne has not taken a third where Lambo has, so little differences between the two Zerg players. Wayne just adding drones, adding a lair and an Evo chamber. Lambo is going to go road draw on a couple of drones in the Overlord. Lings head down the bottom. Just going to be seeing the Reapers are going to be there. A couple of shots coming about. Lings take damage. Grenades going down as well. A couple of Lings going to get buffed around already. Some more roaches being added up. We just have ourselves the lair, roach roar, the +1 missiles coming through. The hallucinations moving about a little bit as well. Just hanging about. Again, the blink coming through, the stim pack coming up. Just going to be seeing the missile upgrade, the rotor on the hatchery, bit of everything on the way through currently. Dark Shrine is going to be building on the side of Hearthstone, so that's going to be about halfway done. As a couple medevacs load up, and let's see the DTs coming in, setting up for... I mean, this is getting kind of aggressive right now. Blink finishing, Stalkers pushing, Ling Ravager being made. You know, this is a push right now, but obviously with the DTs, there's going to be harassment potential behind this as well. You also see Milky Cow playing the bio this game rather than the mech, so mixing up his playstyle from what we saw before. Like this, Marines just dive into that main base. This drop is catching them very off guard. The entire mineral line going to go down before anything else happens. They're busy defending at the front as the Roach Ravager Stalker pushes up here. Where's the third player? Where is Wayne in this equation? He is nowhere to be seen. Wayne is completely absent from this game right now. I mean, he only has a couple of roaches, so he just doesn't have anything. And that's going to mean that they're going to get completely overrun. This was not even close. Plain, simple, pushing power. Dropping the main, attack on the front. Wayne not ready to help his team out. And that is going to be very convincing. I mean, you should have an advantage somewhere. If the drop in the main is still uncontested, you should at least be able to hold on the front doorstep, right? But not being able to hold on the low ground while you're taking damage like that in the main bases, it's obviously just recipe for absolute disaster, and that's exactly what goes down. GG is already called. A couple corrosive balls coming in. Because realistically, we're not far away from seeing this game be completely out. I mean, yeah. You just don't have the units to realistically pull this back, and we go straight to a game 5. First series of the day. 5 games. Love it. Love it. All right. And that leads us to Battle Peak as the last map. A bit of a faster one there. Hosted up and ready to roll. All right. And if a couple of people join the lobby, and we're going to be good to rumble. So our final map here, we're going to be back to having 3 players spawning in the same location, not separated from one another. Obviously a nice little bonus. Just waiting on Lambo to join the lobby, and we will be good to start. So again, thanks for a little bit of patience today, guys, between the games. Obviously, again, 3 players on each team in the lobby. Takes a little bit of time sometimes, but we are getting there. Ask if everyone's ready. And a go-go from one side, waiting for the go-go on the other. Nothing said just yet, though. because as Game 5 comes up again, win this and you enter the prize money. Top 2 teams will walk away with prize money a day. I think it's $300 and $150. Obviously then split between 3. Let's go, goes get called. We can kick off into our peak. So. Get underway. I mean, interesting in this map, obviously the one that... so Team Lambo nearly chose this as map 2, but then they decided not to in the end. And they switched up and they didn't choose it for map 4 either, so... Switching it completely, team's going to join together. There's 1 backward in-base expand, and then 2 out the front. And then 1 more there as well, before we move probably out over here and over to the left side as well for the later stages.
Game paused.
Stop. He does in fact have a medevac. Yeah, that's yep, that's one. The problem is that the medevac's taking up their supply as well, so you're -2 supply right from the start of the game. So we probably just have to use a different map, unfortunately. Rush and medevac healing. Yeah, because there's always going to be a medevac is the problem. Because if they spawn with it this time, they're going to spawn with it every time. Let me check. I imagine they just spawn with the medevac every time because it's a leftover thing from testing the map or so. How does that happen? It happens a lot on new maps because you can create your map to spawn with units, so you can then test how units fly and move and vision ranges and stuff. Yeah, one player's just starting with a medevac every time. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna randomly eliminate one of the other maps. I don't think we can do anything else about that. That's the only version of the map that's uploaded as well. So I think that's just unlucky. I don't think we can really do anything else. Right, what I'm gonna do is... You can try to upload it. Sure, if you can get upload on the European server quickly, but... If not, I'll come up with a response or a way to figure it out. We'll take a minute. All good. We will take a minute then, just try and get this solved. Yeah, how does that happen? Yeah, literally, so, again, like a lot of the time when you're making maps and testing maps, I mean, I'm not someone that does this, but this has happened in the past where basically where you basically just, I guess, start the map with units spawning for one player, so that you can join, you know, load the map up and instantly the unit is there, so you can go and test up dead airspace. Or in the past, like, one of the 1v1 maps in TLMC once had a siege tank spawn, so a player spawned in with like a siege tank. I imagine it's the same idea of trying to test out siege positions on mineral lines and stuff like that, so it's just a remnant from the map making setup. Unfortunately, I think one of the maps that it's just kind of slipped through the QA, unfortunately, on the contest, so we'll try and get it fixed. If not, we'll do a veto process and play one of the maps again. Yeah, it's available, but it's it doesn't have 3v3 mode. I see it, but it doesn't have 3v3. Unless I'm crazy. I presume you can fix that too. Saving the day, step by step. Alright guys, like I said, just a little tech issue with the map. Trying to get this sorted out. Yeah, back on track. Thank you for the patience. And like I said, just try and get this resolved and going again. Now it's 2v2. now it says 1v1 and 2v2. Progress. Progress. FFA 1v1 and 2v2. It's a new one. Hey, what's up, Holder Fee? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 6-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Alright, almost there. Hey. Alright. We're with 3v3 mode. Perfect. Thank you for saving the day, Killer Smile. Until we find the next problem. You don't know what the QA stuff they did for the TLMC. We'll just run with it. We'll I mean, if no one's spawned with units, I feel like everything else we can play with. So Alright, we're gonna try this out and try and set this off. Ready and go gets called. On one side, waiting for the other side to ready up. The map doesn't have unbuildable plates. I'm sure we'll be fine. If someone walls in the other team, then we'll just have to pull a GSL and say, great preparation. You noticed the map doesn't have unbuildable plates and you abused it. Great job. Good job, Marine King. Well deserved GSL. Alright, there's no medevacs. There's parting. Was it Marine King versus parting? I think it was Marine King versus DRG, no? That did the that was the full wall. Alright. Night Phoenix, Milky Cow, and Wayne in the bottom right. And they are going to set themselves up as we get set up on the other side as well. Spirit, Hearthstone, and Lambo. We get back to it. Thank you for your patience, guys. Obviously some tech issues on one of the maps, but we get that fixed and we can get back on track. And hopefully nothing else breaks, in which case we'll have no more delays and we can use this map throughout the day still as well.
Game paused.
That's not a good sign. Yeah, Lambo does in fact have one less mineral patch. Right. Out of the game again. Oh, I love map contests. They're always the most fun. How many are there supposed to be? There's meant to be 8. I love that it's just on Lambo's base as well. Where? On the top spawn, on the right side top spawn base. There was only 7 mineral patches. Can you fix that one too? How easy is it to add a mineral patch? Count gases as well. They could have 50k gas on one geyser. At this point, anything could have happened. Oh. We're just gonna hopefully get in game. There's gonna be no mineral issues or anything like that. Fingers crossed. Alright guys, like I said, I think we're getting this fixed. Oh. Go. Exciting. Hope that was the only base. I think it's less impactful if it's on other bases. I think it's most impactful if it's on someone's starting base, obviously, right? So, and everyone else had 8 patches to begin with, at least, so... Alright, let's go and try again. As we have had an epic scenario play out here. Yeah, the players agree. As long as it's not the main base, it should be fine. This is where the medevac comes back. It's like, the reason we got the medevac and the mineral patch were attached. Some crazy voodoo. Alright. 8 patches, 8 patches, 8 patches. 8, 8, 8. It looks good. We're going to try again to get into game 5. So, one of the guys is messed up at third base. Yeah, whatever. If they get to third base, I don't think they're going to care that much. So, the medevacs have cloak now. Yes, medevac was to compensate for the minerals. It makes so much sense. Top left. This one? Just out in the middle of nowhere. He is kind of out on a wonder, isn't he? This is like the longest base of all time. Alright. Back to 3v3, guys. A little bit of technical issues. Slowing us down a little bit. Apologies. Oh. Alright, before we going through, we get set up and get ready to rumble. As we get a couple of racks coming through the hatch gas pool, all setting up as well. Factory, orbital command, a little bit of everything just coming about as we take a few moments to get back on track after all the chaos and the mayhem that has been taking place. Yeah, a couple of Reapers coming about. The Queen's on the way up. We get settled down for a few moments. CC coming into play as well. So again, we just got a little bit of everything coming through for now. A little bit of getting things on the go. And the bag is just going to fly on through. Factory again, a couple of Hellions on the way out. A couple of Stalkers going to wander around. We will have the Warp Gate, the Gateway, and the Robo Facility continue to come through here, so we get that settled in. Let's just see the Baneling Nest on the way up as well from Lambo, so opportunity to maybe start adding up the aggression here in the early stages. The Hellions will chase. Reaper gets pushed out for a couple moments. Again, Bayonet's about to finish. The Ling's all on the way. Ling speed building up. The Stalkers and the Warp Gate coming online as well. Hellions still joining together as we do have the Roach Run building up on both sides again. Ling Bane on the way through, adding that Ling speed on as well. A few Stalkers just going to go poking straight onto the Overlord. And we do get straight onto that, and that's going to go down. So the first bit of aggression kicking off here. What are we going to look like defensively? Good force fields trapping the Hellions in and getting a couple of those killed off as well. And the lighting of this map makes some of the colors look a little wonky, doesn't it? Lambo, Roach Run about to finish up. He is on 50 out of 52, however, so building Roaches is not going to happen, even though it's kind of what he needs. He gets, I mean, he's building Extractor's Lair. Obviously just Roach Ling on the way right now from Wayne, so just trying to get set up with all of that. The few Stalkers still gathering together. And do you see the Twilight Council and Immortal still building up as well? The units coming around the left-hand side. Hellions are going to sit there. Stalker's still pressuring. Again, the extra Lings are building through for the moment as we get settled. And we are going to get a little bit of warping in action coming through already. A couple Lings go down. Big force fields coming into play. Stalkers are going to be taking some shots. We are going to be seeing the Sentry taking some hits as well. We continue to press forward. We continue to pull back. Ling's trying to get in the front. Baneling's coming around as well. Roach is still being hit. The siege tank taking fire. A few additional Stalkers warping in once more. So we're just going to be seeing these Stalkers still pressing through. This is not breaking through just yet is the important note, right? Like, we're progressing, but we're not breaking in just at the moment. The tank's obviously holding strong. Need these tanks to keep holding. We're going to go Corrosive Vials on some of them now. Target fire on the tanks as well. Try and knock those down. The Lings are blocking a lot of the Stalkers from getting involved from Hearthstone. Wayne still has the most supply here. That's not too surprising. There's Lambo on his way to Aspire. That would be amazing if he survives long enough to get up to it, and I want to say there's a good chance of that happening. Night Phoenix is kind of out of units right now, so Night Phoenix has nothing left to kind of add to this any longer. Just going to be seeing the Ravager still joining up, the Cyclone getting a lock on, a couple more shots coming through, a few hits coming over. Immortal going to get locked onto for a moment or two more here. The tank, the Marines, the Stim Pack still building. We still got a Spire brought up as well. The units pushing toward the upper left-hand side, so we're ready in the attack into this base. Ling's going to run on up. The Roach Marine, Stalker, all gathering together as well. We do have a couple Corrosive Vials, and that siege tank in the back goes down once more, but I don't know if we need it anymore. The fact that the tank already took a lot of the damage is a big enough of the big enough factor. And mutas are now building against, there is some anti-air here, but not as much as before. I think the mutas are going to be great, especially denying the Prism from doing too much, and obviously becoming just harassing units as well should also just give you some opportunities here in the near future as well. So opportunities to come from that as the Adepts drop by. A couple of probes already begin to go down as well. And a couple more warp-ins coming in too. You're going to see these workers still taking damage. The Cyclone stepping forward. The Roaches, the Immortals, the Stalkers wanting to come by as well currently. Just having a few units chasing down for a little bit. It's an Immortal going down. Some shots coming through. Cyclones still trying to help out. Spine trying to relocate. The mutas, it's interesting because the mutas don't help you kind of defend this right now unless you've got enough to kind of overwhelm the anti-air. A couple of those Cyclones are low, so maybe the mutas just get rid of those and back away. It's exactly what they do. They eat a Widowmine shot, though. Needs to try and not eat too many more of those. We dive in again. I just don't love using the mutas in a straight-up kind of fight. At the end of the day, there's not been that kind of lack of anti-air that you're maybe expecting there to be. Spirit is looking very comfortable supply-wise, though, and he's got Stim Marines that are going to be extremely powerful. Moments like this when the units get caught. There's just nothing that deals with Marines right now, and Wayne is going to say that he's sad enough. So is everybody else, it seems. GG's, Lambo, Spirit, and Hearthstone get it done. As the map doesn't last as long as it took us to fix it. Jeez. Alright, we're going to go to NA and get ready to go into our second semi-final ASAP. I love that. My own account has disappeared from the friends list. Lovely. Alright, we'll get this on the way, guys. Feel bad for these other teams having to wait so long in the end. But we will speed through into our second semi-final. Get that ready to go. Work on inviting everyone in, guys. Set to go. And thanks for the patience in the games. I'm gonna try and move quickly. And hopefully less issues now. Then we've had one of the maps already fixed. It's always a good sign. Quick Fix would be a cool map name, yeah. Just missing Youth Thermal from our lobby. Which should be good to begin in the second semi-final here, guys. So, yeah, gonna try and keep it moving smoothly from here on out. Alrighty, we got him. So, we're going to be set. So it's going to be ByuN, SHIN, and ByuN taking on SHOWTIME, Youth Thermal, and SERRAL. Terran, Zerg, Terran. So no Protoss on the side of ByuN, ByuN, and SHIN, obviously. Whereas we do have Protoss on the side of the other team. One of each race represented again. In a moment or so then, 1 minute has been requested. Give that a second or two, get that set up. Awesome. Alright, yeah, just waiting for one of the teams to be ready, guys, obviously. No worries on them. I want to make sure that we're ready to go ASAP so we're not holding anyone up. So, yeah. Who decides these teams? These teams are just open entry. Whoever the guys want to send a message to and team up with before we start, it's all good. Yeah, it's open entry. Teams could have consisted of anybody they wanted to. Just waiting on, like I say, one of the teams to be readied up, guys. Taking a moment or two, it seems. Alright guys, like I say, I'm just waiting. I'm ready to go. It's very rare that no players aren't ready to go, to be fair. Alright, showtime ready. Go, 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 ready. I think we are allowed to kick this off. Go, go, go. Let's go into some 3v3 action as we get this ready to rumble. Again, shout out to the players. We just had obviously a lot of patience here, a lot of guys waiting around and given a lot of time to, you know, actually get into this series. So shout out to the players because they waited an hour and a half to play so that we could, obviously we need to make a show of this today, right? We only have 4 teams. Yeah, we only have 4 teams. So yeah, we got to do whatever we can do as we have. In the bottom left, the red Terran player. This is going to be ByuN. He is teamed up with SHIN and Ryung. And then on the other side of the map, we are going to have ourselves eThermal, SHOWTIME, and SERRAL, typically. I mean, when doesn't SERRAL show up to the 3v3 tournaments, right? So, into game number 1. It is best of 5. And get this one going. And we look to see what the plan will be as we get this one up and running and underway. Exciting. At least from here, like like now I feel a little bit less bad because the other team, at least, you know, they're waiting for the finals, but hey, like they've already made it to the finals and got some money guaranteed. You know, from here on out it's just game for these 2 teams as well, so they just go back to back. So yeah, works out in the end. The worst off team is the team that loses in this series because they had to wait, then they lose, and then unfortunately walk away with nothing. Unfortunately. Alright, well, hatch gas pool coming up for a few moments. Add a couple of drones in, we get that settled for a few moments. You see the couple of barracks coming through. We get the command center building as well. Obviously, excited to see what the kind of styles are going to be here. Triple racks from ByuN, so he's going to get aggressive. This is the map where everyone is split apart again, right? So Tacit Sanctity, where you've got this kind of map that you could argue maybe it is one of the better aggressive maps to kind of get feisty on. So we'll see if that lays true. It was actually a great game. It's probably the best game that we had in the first series. But that aggression early just did a lot, but not quite enough. And then we fought back, and we actually had a very cool drawn-out game. We saw a lot of the positions and the expansion of the maps being used in the later stages. It was very cool. Is a Reaper going to hit the other Reaper? Just seeing a little bit of back and forth going through. A couple Lings going to turn away. Double orbital coming up from ByuN. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize he went CC first. My bad. I didn't realize he went CC first, triple barracks. I just saw the triple barracks. I was like, ByuN's making Reapers, baby! No, he actually went CC first. I'm just completely blind. Too many production tabs to look at. I'm just glancing at all of them, trying to get a little read on what's going on. As the Adept I'm shading across to the other side of the map, chasing after the Reaper for a couple of moments. And we do have, yeah, just the lab building through as well. A couple of Reapers there going to start fighting. We go back and forth. The SCVs get pulled in. They're going to take a few shots already as the Reapers will start doing some damage. Ryung is quick to the factory and into the Hellion. Going to be using that as part of his defense against those Reapers of eThermal as the Marines clean up an Adept of SHOWTIME, I believe, over to the sides. Right now we're just going to regroup everything together again, so get everything joined back in. As again, Lair, Rotron coming online. We've got the Stim Pack coming up as well. Reaper's able to get there and able to get a few more shots off, a little bit more damage done. And obviously just holding the map control because we built a few more aggressive units here early. And now all the upgrades starting to kick in on the other side. The other factory's coming up from eThermal, wondering if he is going to end up playing just kind of mech here. Well, it's 2 barracks into the factory, so potentially not, but yeah, he's going to start Stim as well. So just was wondering, it's always going to be that possibility. Even if the 2 barracks opening, you have time to kind of mess around and change things up and kind of switch your styles a little bit on this one, so. Reapers coming through, SCV takes some damage. The Hellions are going to be there pushing back. Those Reapers just got annihilated. eThermal losing a lot of his early game units there, so that's going to be that going down already. The Roach Speed, the +1 Carapace coming up. We still have our Magfield Accelerator coming in as well. Stimpack and the attack upgrade building. Also, we got the factory going. And again, the couple of oracles heading back out into the center of the map. Blink is building from Showtime at the moment. And Links come over. And Queen's gonna fire some shots. Reaper will take some hits. Links will jump onto that hatchery. Is gonna be able to get a kill on it. Army begins to step out across to the upper right-hand side of the map. We are going to have this push across coming. I mean, quite a lot of strength in this army right now. Where are we at on the opposing team? I mean, SERRAL is building mutas and building spines defensively, so SERRAL trying to get into the big multitasking game. Meanwhile, ByuN just finished up his stim. Showtime's on his way to Blink, but is not quite there yet. SERRAL's third hatchery going to be the first one that comes under fire here. And that low ground set of expansions in general looking fairly exposed right now. SERRAL on the counterattack, already catching some reinforcements though. As yeah, his third hatchery will absolutely go down. Interesting to see where the mutas go to and how much chaos they cause. Look like they're heading to Ryung's base at the moment. So it's going to be down to eThermal and Showtime to play defense here with SERRAL's tech units across the map. Great stasis ward. Definitely going to help put you in the right direction of a defense there. Now the mutas show up. There's no defense at home against those just yet. So that is going to be a problem. It is the mech play he's jumped into the mineral line of, so cyclones can be made. There are a few marines running across from ByuN as well to try and help out. The mutas decide they will start to go elsewhere as these units get freed from the stasis. We are immediately there and ready to jump on them, and a bunch go down. So defense is good. Command's are going to get cancelled here. We do already have an infestor out on the side of SHIN. He's going to be trying to catch those mutas throughout this, but that's a major cancel that slows down the expansion to the low ground. And while SERRAL lost his third hatch, he'll begin to rebuild that. They did defend the 3-base setup of Showtime. That is now coming back online. Well, okay, they didn't defend the 3-base setup, but they defended the low ground, and they do hold. And now Showtime can re-expand, SERRAL can re-expand, and we can get back on track as that upper right team. Again, SERRAL just going to play for the map control around the map. A couple of medevacs right there, going to try and get by. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, they're his teammates' medevacs. Oh my god. You know what it is? It's the way that SERRAL moved onto them. I actually think SERRAL almost thought they were the opposing medevacs for a moment as well, because SERRAL, it looked like SERRAL moved his, it looked like SERRAL moved the mutas to attack the medevacs and they just weren't in reach or something. So it had me double believing that it was actually the opposing medevacs. That's going to be Cyclone lock-ons coming onto the mutas, but we do avoid the fungal growth, so I'd say that that is a win as well. For the moment, is just have the mutas are going to escape away. SERRAL pulling back up the right-hand side and escaping out of there for the moment. The Marines do split out in the center. 1-1 upgrade still coming through. The infestors gathering as they are filling with energy, and that's going to make it more and more treacherous for these mutas to be out on the map. Going to have to be extremely careful with those throughout the course of this. Welcome everyone from the RSL. Hope you guys have had a great day of action. I know you guys have had some scrumptious games today. Appreciate you guys join us. We are casting some 3v3. These are on new team maps. These are the new team maps that may be part of the ladder at some point. Part of the Team Liquid team map contest. This is the tournament section, and today is 3v3 day. We had 2v2 the other day. We'll have 4v4 tomorrow. And today's 3v3. Currently in the semi-final with ByuN, SHIN, and Ryung teamed up against Showtime, eThermal, and SERRAL. And this is game one of this best of 5. The one team that has made it to the finals already is Lambo, Spirit, and Harstem, so they will be playing the winner of this series afterward. A lot of units gathered at the front here. Showtime and eThermal are really looking for this forward push. Teamed up together, they have very good supply. I mean, you compare them to Ryung and ByuN, who are maybe the non-Zergs on the other team, and the supply is definitely favorable there to Showtime and eThermal. There is going to be SERRAL. Obviously, a little bit down supply to SHIN. He's not really, again, still set up to play at the front and attacking as much. He's still looking to support with those mutas, as we do see big drops heading into the bases. And Showtime's base is going to be in trouble here. I might even force a recall, I want to say, although I don't know if we've got the energy for it. Looks like they were somewhat aware of this. The mutas are going to be there, but they can't really fight the Marines. A few zealots show, but they're not even really able to go just yet as well. There's no charge just now. Nexus falls, Colossus firing, the Stalkers blink up. Mutas would love to get those Medivacs as they try to retreat, but they are going to get to flat ground. Mutas will pick off a couple of Marines, but will overall just be pulling back. And SERRAL is really, talk about doubling down, tripling down, just playing those Mutas, nothing else. A few Lings on the way. Hive is going to finish. We'll see if he gets anything interesting from the Hive. So he's coming down. Ooh, Cyclone's locking on, and Mutas is going to be a scrumptious treat. As I see the Stalkers blinking forward, trying to capitalize there. Marines of ByuN show up as well, though. That's where the Colossus are going to be huge if we can get them in play. Euthermal's army still on the map is the problem. So Euthermal might have to pull back, because right now Showtime is in the process of getting 2v1'd. And Euthermal, well, maybe he just has to go then. He's a little bit indecisive as to what to do. SERRAL launches onward with the Lings and the Mutas. So he's just going to commit on in. Let Showtime try and hold up from the high ground. SERRAL losing the low ground base already. Euthermal steps forward as well, so they're going to go bases for bases here. This is going to be a major trade out. I think my concern is really going to be that these Mutas are just not going to be able to fight in the long run, right? If you think about a typical ZVZ, the army that SHIN has made is the army that then, enables them to kind of fight versus the Mutas of the opponents. And I think we're kind of at that point, but I mean, SHIN is the strongest player in the game, which I also don't know if I love, because of Zerg being the strongest player, it's very rare that the strongest player on a team game is going to be, a Zerg successfully carrying through, because their units are a little bit less susceptible to, or a little bit more susceptible to being traded out against the tech units. ByuN and ByuN go to sub 100 supply. I mean, trying to do a quick count, 230, 330, let's call it like 400-ish supply on the European team. It's a little sub, about 350 supply on the Korean team, so it does look as though Team Europe are going to be up in this game at the moment. After some chaotic affairs, oh, the Mutas get caught, so SERRAL may be out of luck right now. He's going to start building Corruptors. I was going to say, I don't know how much longer it's worth building the Mutas for. Obviously, you already have the Mutas, great, keep using them, but I don't know if you want to keep adding to Mutas when their numbers are nowhere near as terrifying, when there's a lot of counters for them on the map. Obviously, getting them fungled and killed off like that is not ideal, as we are going to see the Lings finish off another base, so SHIN losing a hatchery as well. He's not quite maxed out anymore, just at 150 supply for the moment. When the Cyclone gathers, Hydra Roach Infestor joins. Might take a few more moments here as the few Lings going to launch onto the orbital command. Just overhead, going to start going after some SCVs. Siege Tank Liberator army coming up. I like it from Euthermal, very siege heavy army. Got Broodlords on the way from SERRAL as well, which hey, if you get some Broodlords up and they're supported by this mech, by this kind of bio-tank force, Broods can probably hold positions extremely well. We're going to see more drops. Euthermal's base on this right side going to come into trouble as the drops hit from ByuN. He's only got 100 supply, so this is actually a lot of his supply, like 30% of it, in one drop right now. Which means that you're going to get a base, but that's pretty much the only thing that ByuN can do in the game right now. Medevac goes down as well, and 10 supply when you're, like I say, on 100, is really going to be very substantial. So that's going to be rough now. The Corruptors are chasing, the Libs are chasing. All those Medevacs go down. ByuN loses everything from the drop, and again, you look at the supplies. You've got two players, Showtime and Euthermal, who are maxing out here soon on the right side team, while on the bottom left team, you've just got SHIN. And again, I'd say SHIN's army is worth like almost 0.8 of an army compared to like the Euthermal and the Showtime army. That's just how Zerg works typically. I mean, Euthermal's army is only marine tanky doggy. SHIN's army is more teched up than that, but Showtime's army is beautiful. And I mean, SHIN right now is attacking basically with the support of Marines of ByuN. I don't even know where Young is at, back at home playing defense still. He's not made it across the map. A couple lurkers on the ground getting shot. The Colossus is going to take their chance to step forward and move through. Thing's going to wrap around. A couple Cyclones dropping as well. Euthermal winning on the other side of the map as well. It kind of tells you what you need to know, because that army can now keep pushing through. The Revelation comes down on the tanks and the Hellbats. You take a step back. These ByuNs are going to come stepping forward once again. I think we're going to have ourselves... it feels like we've got ourselves a push right now that's not going to be stopped. The Broodlords can obviously be great against the mech force as well. I was saying bombs on the Broodlords. The Viper's going to get into play. Always fun when you see the spell cast you don't usually see. It's not every day you see a Parasitic Bomb and a Broodlord. That's part of the joy of the team games, that things get spiced up and mixed up a little bit in total. Those Lurkers in good positions, the High Templars take a step back. And GG says ByuN, Ryung, and it's just Shin left to make that decision to leave. ByuN and Ryung have been kind of dying for a long time here. I mean, Ryung got hit hard by the mutas. ByuN lost a lot of units in the drops that he was making happen. And at the end of the day, the other guys were really able to sustain throughout, which obviously makes a big difference in the end, right? GG, as we'll take a moment to hop into. Our next map, that will be the map pick of the Korean guys here. Pick which map they would like to maybe play here. They can pick any they would like from the four that remain. Sleeping Giant, says ByuN. On to West server as well for them in game 2. Alright, take a second and we'll jump on into this. It's going to be Sleeping Giant in a second or two. This is the map we started off on in the first series of the day, so it's been a little while since we've seen it. Ready's goes. Nope, that's all from one team. I'm waiting for the Koreans to give us a go-ahead. Perfect. On we go. On we go. Alrighty guys, I'm going to kick this off. And we have got in the bottom right the team who are going to be down a map in the series. This is going to be Ryung, ByuN, and SHIN. Top left will be SERRAL, eThermal, and SHOWTIME. I'm just going to jump on the indie camera, let him do his thing. I just want to take a quick moment to once again mention... Oh, I don't have the logo up. I'm so bad. There we go. That Monster Energy logo has always been in the top right of the screen, right, guys? Yeah, exactly. So Monster Energy, thank you so much to them. They are supporting the Team Liquid map contest. Without them... The map contest just wouldn't be happening. Never mind the tournament section here, just not even the map contest. So, a major part of the reason why we still have what has been a real core element of the StarCraft 2 pro scene for such a long time, which is map contests, getting map makers to make the maps, submit the maps, they get considered for ladder. We get to test them out in the tournaments as well. We've been doing the tournaments for this for such a long time now. I think this is our 14th tournament overall, which is obviously pretty crazy to be 14 deep when you do, you know, 1 or 2 of these a year only. So, yeah. She's a Maniac is who? That's eThermal. But I say the Monster Energy is scrumptious. Not as scrumptious as some of those opportunities in the last game, man. I do like myself a monster, though. You know, I forgot that I was meant to ask for a monster restock this time before the tournament, and I forgot. And now the tournament's already started. I'm like, damn. Is it too late to get my annual kind of storage of Monster Energy sent over? It's coming through, Hatch is coming up. I'm just going to see our racks coming through, the Reapers on the way. Get the Cybercore and the Nexus building. And we take a few moments to settle down into game 2 of this best of 5. You only drink Monster Energy drinks? Perfect, that's what we like to see. Is this No Rush 20? I think this is one of the more defendable maps because you've got access points, right? But everyone gets a very regular kind of initial base. I think the issue is kind of where do you take the third hatch as a Zerg? Because Zerg wants to take that third base pretty quickly in the game compared to the other races. I think that is my big question. Where do you take that as a Zerg, and does that maybe open the doorway for an attack for the opposing team? It is probably not No Rush 20 because the bases all expand toward the middle, and so you get quite close to each other very early. But, yeah. See what happens here. Is the Reaper going to go pinging, looking for an SCV and able to grab that already. And a few Zerglings here are going to come under fire. They are going to start taking some hits. As a grenade goes down, Zerglings will take some shots. Grenade going down. Queen's still getting bopped around. Just seeing some damage being done. The Adept still moving back as the Marines and the Reaper join up together as well. So again, a little bit of back and forth for the moment. Now Ling's building through. Ling's speed is about to finish. I don't think we're getting too aggressive, right? This just feels like everyone is setting up for a later game. Just via some early units. Obviously the Reapers are poking about from Youth Thermal, similar to the last game, putting some pressure on with those initially. These 3v3 matches are clown shows and you're here for it. Yes, honestly, the best part about 3v3 is, I really personally think the best part of 3v3 is thinking about it less and just watching what happens. Like, I think 2v2 you can get a good amount of analysis in, a good amount of kind of conceptualization of what's going on, what people might be doing. To me, 3v3, I don't know if we're just not used to watching it or what, but I feel like a lot of that starts getting lost on me, so I'm just like, I just sit back, watch the chaos and unfold, and just love it for what it is, right? I think 3v3 really is fun when we get it in small doses every few months here and there. Spire building from SHIN, as you just see the drones coming up as well. Armor coming through, Orbital and the Hellions building as well. SCVs continue to come about, as you see the Queen's going to be there. Ling's getting pushed back the other way. Infernal Pre-Igniter is going to be coming up as well. Add on the Cyclone. Just get that mech play up and running for the moment. Oracles activate, hatch goes down. It's nice to see the Showtime Oracles actually getting a bit of use out of this. Showtime's taking the third down to the bottom. SERRAL just expands up top. Eternal probably going to have a bit more trouble getting his own third base up. Not sure where he's going to go for that. Maybe between the two. That's become a little bit awkward. It's very cramped. It is quite cramped going to 3 bases. I guess you just go here as Thermal. But like I say, it's pretty cramped kind of with your teammates, right? Everyone's kind of close up together. It doesn't mean if you potentially lose one base, you might be very quick to lose the other as well. So that's another issue you could potentially look at here. Something that could come into play, given enough opportunity. Italians roast up a whole bunch of Lings. Oh, there's an opportunity. SERRAL going to split the drones away, and the Oracles come to save him. Nicely done. Nice save. Nice bit of teamwork. Everyone showing up on time. SERRAL just has to back away for a second. Not too long, though. Is it PM if you long-distance mine your teammates' resources? Probably yes. Yeah, it's low-key trolling, right? Because if your opponent has a fully saturated base and you start to mine from it, your workers queue with his workers, right? So his workers will stop mining as effectively because they will have to stop and try and mine your work, the minerals that your workers then mining. So he's not actually, then it's very inefficient. You'd be better off letting him mine for you and he sends you the resources, That'd be a great way to accidentally be toxic in a game, in a team game, wouldn't it? Marines are going to come stimming up, chasing those mutas down. So SHIN trying to get into the mutas this time around. And again, deflected so far. ByuN and Ryung, though. ByuN especially. ByuN is up on a bunch of Cyclones this time. They're both playing mech ByuN and Ryung. And right now, ByuN's supply is looking very good. SERRAL on the counterattack going to try and make work of these Terran mineral lines. Get rid of a few workers there. Those meters are still trying to be annoying, but they're going to sit AFK as the Marines get underneath for multiple kills. 2 meters make it out of there alive. And the great meter massacre of the 7:30 mark of this game will be forever remembered on Sleeping Giant, because that was, unfortunately, a little bit of a brutal moment for SHIN. That's a lot of meters down. He is still making meters too, which means he has to replace those meters to get back to where he was even. This is not a case of, well, the meters were kind of done. He felt like he was... No, he's still making them. So he's keeping himself from getting to maxed out on the meter count. As the initial saves towards here, I was going to say, I'm probably going to have to do quite a bit. Uthermal and SERRAL with a few units are going to try and swing down over here, but the tanks are sieging as well. Oh my goodness. Ryung and ByuN in a super aggressive position. Again, the Lings on the counter-track trying to get into place. But this mech mech push has pushed into very scary territory over here, putting itself in a great position to keep moving through. See the couple of tanks still putting some firepower out, some shots still coming through there initially. Let's just dive in. The medevac's going to be trying to unload. Do we get an unload here? I mean, we got unloaded. How many meters go down? Honestly, quite a few. The thermal target fired one of the lower HP meters there as well, so the drop gets cleaned up. Wasn't free for SHIN, though, to clean it up in the first place. SHOWTIME looking good supply-wise. SERRAL still kind of playing this scrappy situation where he is just running through with a bunch of cheap units on repeat. And he is absolutely causing chaos and trouble on that other side of the map. So absolutely finding value here so far. So Vizela gathers up. The Oracle taken down by a Cyclone shot from afar. A couple of tanks stepping further forward as well. Again, love to play the supply comparison game. SHIN to SERRAL. SHIN leads by about 15 to 20. ByuN to SHOWTIME. SHOWTIME leads by about 20. And Ryung to Ryung leads by 10 or so. So the TLDR I get from all of that is that we're pretty close together right now. We are pretty close together at the moment as we gather everything in. Fungal growth coming down. That's something we need to help against these Cyclones a little bit. Something to lock those Cyclones in place and really allow us to get rid of them. Fungal's going to be huge in that scenario. As the tanks start a siege, though, well, we might actually take this fight anyway. The meters are going to be coming in to keep the Stalkers busy. I actually think that saved a bunch of the mech units there. I don't think those tanks were going to survive if something like that didn't take place. So I think that was actually very important right off the bat. As do pull away in the end, and we have +2 attack. Phoenix and the cannons coming up, probes as well. The Slingers is getting busy, the drone's trying to pull through, the mutas showing up overhead as well. The Hellions can get a little poke off, nothing crazy though. Cyclone's coming forward, and that base of Youth Thermal looks like it's going to be in some trouble, man. It's really SHOWTIME that's kind of the beast that can really, I think, control this game still for Team Europe. As you're all going to be seeing the meters, the Cyclones, and so pulling back a little bit. I'm worried as well for SHIN's army, because I look at SERRAL's army, and I think SERRAL is now providing more value than what SHIN's army is supply for supply. And that's kind of a little bit of what we saw in one of the earlier games as well. We were talking a bit about it in like the Lambo game with and Wayne and some of those armies just kind of got to be a little bit, well, not even earlier. It was actually just in game 1 of this as well, where SERRAL's army with the meters just was not as effective as what SHIN was pushing straight across to the other side of the map with. We talked about it a little bit in the earlier series as well, but I think the better example actually was just game 1 of this best of 5. Tanks, few Marines, all coming up. We see the Ultras, tanks, Hellions, Cyclones coming through as well. A little bit of action still breaking out then for the moment. We're just getting caught. The Ultras are going to come take a dive down. The Zerglings get turned around again as the Stalkers show up. They are going to go after the Cyclones for a few moments. You'll see the Colossus laser beaming down the command center as well, so getting some more damage done. Stalkers still making their way through. I mean, like what Showtime's been able to get done. SERRAL supply looking good as well. It's Thermal that's struggling on this one, as he's just not being able to kind of set his feet against some of these fights. Now that we have the introduction of some Ultras, though, as well, it's very fun. That's just SERRAL's Ultras whacking their way into SHIN's side of the map, and the Mutas are not going to be able to do enough, and they're going to say GG. What an effort from Thermal, Showtime, and SERRAL, who get to the 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Team Korea waited all this time to play the semi-final, and they might just be dropping out 3-0. We are going to take a second, guys, throw some ads up, and get ready to go into our third map of this series. Waiting on our Korean team to pick one of the maps that remain still. Ultras, man. Ultras looking good. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Radiator, says Ryung. Should have made the prize money not divisible by 3. That would have been funny. Yeah, that would have made my... that would have been funny if the players had to discuss it themselves, but it would have been me that had to sort out that headache, you know? That would have been my problem to fix, so... yeah, funny in concept, not so funny in practice, as the MO there. I was just going to get ByuN to switch to red, and then a couple other players join this lobby. We can go. Double check that everyone is ready, and we can kick this one off. Get this ready to roll. Ready says Thermal's team. SERRAL readies us up as well. ByuN says ready. That's good enough for me. Let's go and see if the Koreans can bring it back a map. Get this set to go. We're going to start off in the top right side. We are going to have ourselves ByuN, SHIN, and Ryung. They're down 0-2 to SERRAL, Showtime, and Thermal in the bottom left. This is the map where you start 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and it just means that you have got like 2 guys joined up and then 1 man to fight for themselves. Do you feel like this gets rough if, for example, like the Zerg spawns here? Well, maybe the Zerg spawns here, they're always going to take the hatchery anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. Maybe it's not actually that big of a deal. I was just thinking about, does one race benefit or suffer the most from being on its own versus teamed up with the teammates? I was just thinking Zerg, because Zergs can't necessarily wall off as much, but then... yeah, maybe that's not that big of a deal anyway. Yeah, hi Hasburrito, thank you for the 45-month resub as well. Appreciate the support on the channel. Thank you for helping us keep on making StarCraft. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hatch gas and pool coming up. A couple of barracks on the way in as we take a gateway as well. Going to be a bunch of barracks on the other side of the map. A gateway coming online initially. It just grabs a little probie there and get that cleaned up. A grenade or two coming about. Just going to see the Reaper's chasing for a moment. Reaper will go down there. Some damage being done. As we have the link speed building, add a few more Reapers on. Battery coming through. The Stalker and the Warp Gate coming up as well. I still see the Adept in the Warp Gate building. Also, CC and the rest continuing in for now. Then Reaper's getting a few shots off. Adept's getting forward as well. We are going to be seeing a little bit of a switch up here. Obviously, I didn't mention it, sorry, but SHIN has actually switched to Protoss. So he actually went from Zerg to Protoss. He played Protoss in the 2v2 yesterday as well, with Rex when they were ZZ. So obviously they feel like having a Protoss on the team might be more important than having a Zerg. So yeah, SHIN with the race switch. Is Cheese a Maniac Mark? Yes, Cheese a Maniac is U-Thermal, guys. Should be named correctly on the European server when we get that in the next series, if they win this one. Drones and the Queen coming about, Reaper's coming through. We see the commands in the building as well. A lot of units together at once here as U-Thermal and SERRAL. To maybe see if they can combine for some effect and some value, but SERRAL doesn't want to commit the Lings in too hard just yet. It's pulling back over to the sides. Helps up there, pulling back a little bit. It's going to get back to action for a few moments. We get back on track. Just having the Reapers, the attack upgrade, all coming through, getting that +1 well on the way for the moment. Those Reapers just keep on moving. Again, the blinks on the way up on both sides, +1 in combat shield building as well. There's 4 Reapers and the attack upgrade all coming through. The commands in the building up. Blink and the Nexus coming about as well. Reapers actually fighting against the Marines is something I didn't think I'd see today, but those Reapers do make a bit of a stance for themselves and make a little bit of an attempt to push that back, and they're going to come chasing in once again. Those Marines getting pushed back again here. Reapers take a step across. We're going to see the Stalkers and Marines coming over. Oracle going to be right there. Drops the little stasis ward down. Trying to protect some of those ramps a little bit. Chasing through. Reaper's going to get chased down. Reapers and Barracks still building up as we do settle to the front. Again, the Ling's going to come running about as well. Siege tank +1 coming on over. Rubber Bay coming in. Still getting the command center built through also. Things want to try and get a catch on these Stalkers. Not quite able to, and these armies are starting to catch up together here. Are we worried about the fact that U-Thermal is literally Mass Reapering? I mean, I just don't know if Mass Reaper is good against any units that are being built right now. He's going to throw grenades down, but he has no way to aid against the siege tanks. I mean, SERRAL is the highest supply of the team with Ling Bane, and that doesn't exactly bode well I think this one is, again, a little out of hand with the Korean team looking to take a map back in the series. Now, this has just been a little bit too strong and too ordinary of a set of units for the Reapers to really do much of anything, and then I think Showtime and SERRAL alone are struggling. Now, we're actually going to go across the map and at least make it interesting. Diving up over here gives us an opportunity to maybe, possibly, get things to be an interesting place. I mean, compared to right now, otherwise, because obviously trying to play defense at home was not looking too hot. SERRAL loses his main, natural base, so it's a main base only for him, and an incoming base out on the left side that remain, but that'll be about all. Stalkers chase. Reapers get jumped on, they will go down as well. Medevac tank and Marine still building through. The Reapers now going in after the siege tanks as well. Stalkers chase the Lings. The Stalker, Adept, and Sentry all coming about. The Reapers gathering together. Refinery is about to finish as the tanks will siege. Marines will join up. Stalkers and the Sentry trying to step forward will get the refinery taken down. Hey, those lanes on the other side actually going to get a chance to kind of push back a little bit, so going to be able to chase that away. Just going to be seeing the Reapers diving forward again. Siege tank in some trouble. Hey, the counterattacks are going well. It's just, if the counterattacks are going well, are we doing enough on the other side of the map? I still think we're just a little bit heavily behind. SERRAL and SHIN are arguably similar supplies, but then Showtime and Thermal gather up for 250 supply versus almost 300 of ByuN and ByuN, so they need to start taking some effective trades here soon, and then ByuN just drops in the main base. That's going to be a problem. That might kill off SERRAL. I'm not sure if he has anything that can really fight against 4 medevacs worth of Marines just showing up in his main. The Reapers running across, I don't think are going to make much of a difference on that fight either. I think we are just obviously desperate to basically win the game on the other side by counterattacking through, but just not sure if we're really having enough to truly make that a factor. Medevacs loads, peel off over to the side again. I really just feel like we're not far from this just falling through. Like, unless Showtime's army is truly good enough to fight off 2 Terrans at once. The problem is Showtime's about a max, and then he's going to have to try and support his teammates a little bit. Thermal is still only building Reapers though, and I think, again, the Reapers, I'm just not convinced they're going to be able to make enough of an impact at this stage. And it's not like he has anything else on the way anytime soon, like, it's just Reapers. So I'll try and show with a few Lings. They've been good at hitting across on the other side of the map and getting some damage done there. The Banes threaten those Marines, but do not manage to reach through for the connection. Oh, nice fungal growth going down. The Marines are going to get caught. Bosses, Stalkers, and Zealots chasing forward as well. Continue to just push straight through onto this. Those Zealots still chasing online and into position. Marines are going to run down over the left-hand side and jump straight onto this hatchery. So hatchery going to take some damage as well. That's going to get nuked down here. Those few Zealots going to be in the exact same state. Marines will take that chance at this mineral line. Couple drones going down. Fungal lands onto a group of those Marines. Now the Reapers and the Infestors continue to push through, really trying to get there. And the Marines have to pull back a little bit. That's actually a really good cleanup. ByuN's supply just melted. Oh my god. Did ByuN go for 1 drop too many? That's him down to 100 supply as well. And this game actually swings a little bit. Now, SERRAL did lose supply himself, so maybe SERRAL's not as good as a spot, but I do think weakening one of the 2 Terrans on the opposing side has a lot that you can do. Also, I keep comparing SERRAL to SHIN in terms of supply, but obviously SHIN's playing Protoss this game as well, so it's not quite the same as before when I was comparing SERRAL to SHIN in terms of Zerg and Zerg, you know. Big push in from Showtime. It's going to be ByuN's base that he is not defending, and his teammates are not showing up to defend just yet either. We've got the Infestors of SERRAL to team up with this as well, and they're going to be able to drop Fungals on the front line, stop the retreats, doing a lot of splash damage as well. Those SCVs stuck in a corner over there. Nothing going to come of those, but that's dangerous how clumped they were when there's, you know, splash on the map available. Fungals, Colossus, and the rest. Reaper's causing chaos again. Hey guys, this is a cheeky little gold-blue base over here. Looks like SERRAL has ferried a drone over there to build a hatch, and is now going to ferry more drones over there to set up in that base in general. This is quite literally an island expansion. It's actually an island. I love it. Alright, so a little island expand in the corner actually going to be made use of. In team games, you get a bit more chance to make use of those island expands sometimes as Showtime comes pushing up to the top side, blinking in. The thing is, Protoss don't really care about Colossus that much, and so blinking toward the Colossus and killing off is effective. At the same time, ByuN is not done. He is counter-attacking himself on the other side of the map. And still trying to make a play of this. Ryung is maxed out, but where's Ryung's army? He's also okay. He's in the center. He's actually going to be meeting SERRAL and uThermal soon. As SERRAL sets up on the bottom, uThermal setting around the center. It's mostly just SCVs that he actually send the Reapers across the map. uThermal still doesn't have a ton of supply to truly aid this right now. Another fungal growth going down, a bit more damage being done. Fungals are big there. What helped to clean up ByuN before? There's so many Infestors. We're actually able to just launch fungal after fungal. A few lings afterward will clean up. SERRAL goes down to 65 supply though. He's not got bases. He's not got economy. SHIN on 40 supply is in a very similar place. And then at this point, Ryung is the leading player in this game. ByuN going to lose a bunch of empty medevacs as they try to get home. Nice catch from Showtime, keeping ByuN back a little bit. And ByuN and Ryung combine to take out the Showtime army, because what I do worry about is that Showtime's army is super tech heavy. It's very Colossus and Archon heavy, and we don't have answers for either of those. We do not have Vikings, we do not have Ghosts. And I just wonder if that maybe gives Showtime enough of a chance to actually fight 2 Terrans at once. uThermal adds 2 factories and 5 more barracks. Not sure what his plan overall is, but maybe something different. He's going to float his CC to the corner as well, so he's also going to look for the island expand. SERRAL and uThermal both island expanding up. Not great for Zerg to have an island expansion, because obviously you're playing an island expand in a situation where, you know, your units, if any spawn there, are going to be out of position and not able to join the fray, so you're missing out on the production of that hatchery, but the economy will still go a long way for SERRAL in a game which is obviously not looking super pretty for him just yet. Stalker shots looking for those lings. Stalker's surrounded. Lings will come about. Tank shot or 2, and the lings will take a bit more damage. Vikings firing in, the Colossus taking shots. Double fungal land on the Marines again. Those Infestors of SERRAL. He might not have a ton of supply, but the supply he has can be extremely impactful. Messy for Showtime though, engaging on that top side without enough support. Clearing out those tanks is not easy. A lot of supply has gone down here now. We are very low across the board. Showtime and Ryung, the leading supply givers, at 130 to 140. Both still moving around. The Marines joining up. Base is going down still. I mean, both sides have been taking base losses throughout. They just scanned the corner, by the way, so they're going to see uThermal's base top left, realizing that. As uThermal just tries to counter on the other side, I'm not sure how well that's going to go with the tank and Marines positioned defensively. ByuN and Ryung setting up to make this such a difficult situation. How do we break out? The Infestors can't exactly do much on their own accord. It's very difficult for them to actually come forward and to change the pace of this right now. So many tanks. And just no good way to really deal with that. uThermal building tanks of his own, starport coming up. I just don't know what you build to, like I say, really take down those tanks. I mean, a Showtime actually breaks onto the map and looks to counter again. I like that, because anything that's going to force these Terrans out of the position they're in is going to be better than you fighting into that position. And the longer they sit there, the more oppressive they're going to become, kind of leaning further and further into your team's bases. Might just be the go moment, though. The thing is, SERRAL has the fungals! He has the fungals! I was going to say he has the fungals to hold off this army if it tries to come up the ramp. And that's exactly what we do, as we have tanks there as well from Youth Thermal. So they're now letting Showtime attack and just working on the other side with Fungal tank defense to try and stop them from losing. As Showtime looks to play a big army across the map, denying a base. The Marines alone are not going to do well against Showtime's army. They need the siege tanks to aid against Showtime, which is okay in some scenarios, but there's not tanks forever. And obviously the tanks, there are a few sieged up right now, but Showtime just pings his way around and hits where the tanks are not in reach of, because this game is chaotic enough that these players have been drawn apart from each other. SERRAL's throwing a few units around as well, as you might have seen here and there, the Lings showing up and fighting through. And is going to find this base, and it's going to be a quick cancel. Everyone desperate to try and get additional economy in this game, but it just is not happening. Resources lost, you can see, has been a bit more efficient on the side of the Koreans, but I mean, SHIN is at 12 supplies, so SHIN is basically out of this game. This is becoming the 3v2. And I think the 3v2 is going to be what kind of probably kills them in the end. Like, if SHIN cannot contribute at all, ByuN and ByuN only, and like I said, I think ByuN and ByuN's army will struggle against a little bit of Showtime's force, but especially the Fungals combining. And Youth Thermal is actually building tanks now. With tanks coming out of Youth Thermal, I think this absolutely takes a swing into a much better place. Gonna lose the Colossus there, though. That was actually Showtime's army just melted. Oh god, Showtime just lost everything, and suddenly this is not so pretty. A couple Colossus over here, and they do enough. Showtime having to step back. Colossus are going to laser their way through those Marines. The Marines can't do anything at all. Oh my god. SHIN is at 0 supply exactly. It's just too much still. The Infestors are going to be good. Even though Showtime lost everything, it's still fine. And that is going to be GG's called. ByuN is giving it a go with these siege tanks, as the other guys are typing out GG. They do still have to fight against ByuN's tank army. Liberate trying to siege up as Youth Thermal tries to push it back. In the end, ByuN is going to say GG as well. He taps out of here. It's a 3-0 from SERRAL, Youth Thermal, and Showtime, making it an all-European final, as Lambo Spirit and Harstem are the other team in the finals today. And we're going to be getting into that final in a few moments' time. I'm going to take a quick break, guys. We're going to come back with more StarCraft 2. I'll see you guys very soon. Just throw the break screen up and take a step away. And I'll see you guys very shortly for more StarCraft. We'll be right back. Hello, just locating players, guys, and we will be into our finals of the day in the 3v3 portion of the TLMC Team Edition tournaments. We will have 4v4 tomorrow, and then after 4v4 tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to have 2v2 all-kill. I actually still need to invite the players for 2v2 all-kill. I've been super busy last few days. I was going to do it this morning, and then I ended up being out the whole morning. I've been out the whole morning and stuff, so the good news was what I went to get done got done very quickly. The bad news was that instead of coming back and having time at the PC, I just stayed out the whole morning. So any 5v5 matches? No, I don't think so. So just missing Uthermal at the moment. Once Uthermal is here, we'll be able to go. Just joined our lobby, so we should be set to go pretty much right now if players are readied up. We can kick this off. Go and ready on the side of Spirit's team, SERRAL's team. I can't remember who's on whose team anymore, to be honest. Alright, we got some go-go's on both sides. If you say go-go in a team game and your teammate isn't ready, that's on you. So we're going to click start. We're going to get into it. It's the finals, best of 5. Honestly, only having 4 teams actually has worked out pretty well time-wise because the games have been pretty long. Obviously, we had some tech issues as well, but we're going to get like a 3.5, 4-hour stream out of this. Like, I can't really be upset about it. Like, we're getting about as much content as I wanted out of this, even if we didn't get a ton of sign-ups. As we go into Val Peak, which is going to come through. GLHF going to get called and is just best of 5 in this final as well. We only have 5 maps to the map pool, so not going to do anything crazy like make it best of 7 and you replay maps or something like that. As we kick this off. And the blue and the purples, it's past them, Lambo and Spirit. Sorry guys, if I suddenly feel like I'm stopping, it's because my microphone keeps cutting out, and I'm pretty sure it's only in my ears, which is the good thing. It's taking me by surprise because I'm like, shit, something's wrong. This stopped happening a while ago, and I actually bought a new wire, and I didn't even put the new wire on the headset because I didn't feel like I needed to in the end, but maybe I actually need to go back and actually change it this time. Obviously, SHOWTIME, SERRAL, and Uthermal sit in the other side of the map in the bottom corner. They are going to be the comboed players that are in the opposition here. So, finals time, best of 5, 3v3. Thank you for joining us once again. Appreciate you all. And, yeah, excited to get us going on this one. Couple of racks on the way up. Obviously, see where the initial builds take us over a little bit of time. Was there a problem with Tacit? Yeah. I'm gonna copy paste it. Hang on. Yeah, Lambo mentioned it is on both sides of the map, so it's even. If it could be fixed, then amazing. If it's easy to fix, at least. As I'm Marine, I'm going to take a chance to chase down a probe for a couple of moments, adept in the warp gate. Coming up, the orbital command, reactor in the tech lab. But everything just coming through for the moment, so we got ourselves fully set up. The Reaper comes in, SCVs are going to get popped a little bit. Stalk's going to come across as well, and that Reaper will get chased. Reaper will shoot and chase the probe. Probe is going to end up dropping. Let me just see the Adept. Going to join up with the Reaper. And actually going to be able to go after the Marine here. So already going to be seeing some aggression coming through as Showtime starts to get some damage done. It's actually a really cool combination of players. Hostile Lambo Spirit, Showtime SERRAL Thermal. That's really a little bit of a treat of collection of players here today as the couple of Stalkers chasing after the Adept. Going to be seeing the couple of units going down. The Hellions coming back up toward the top side. Infestation pit drones reducing through as well. Get the blink in the warp gate building also. There's the Stalker able to get rid of the Overlord. And a couple of Adepts coming through looking for probes still. So getting some damage done. Early harassment being a success. It's Halston that's getting a little bit bullied there. Showtime will lose the Adepts, but took quite a few probes out of this to justify their death. Definitely think it was worthwhile, those Adepts going down, because like I say, they did a lot. This is not the Adepts that show up, do nothing, and then you're sad. Look at that, by the way, Lambo, with the Nidus network coming through. So we're going to see him playing Swarm Hosts. And that's definitely a big switch up from a lot of the other stuff that we've been seeing going on, so I think that's quite fun and exciting. Hellions going to collide, a few SCVs begin to go down. Actually, you can see those Hellions continue to chase, and SCVs take a lot of damage. One Hellion very nearly going down there is going to drop in the end. Again, the Swarm Host coming about. Blink on the way on both sides. Just seeing the Medivac, Combat Shield, and so all coming up and looking good. The Swarm Host going to pop Locust out, and they're going to go diving in toward the main base. Dropping straight down. A couple of SCVs already begin to fall. The Lings going to go out toward the Nidus. And the Swarm Host about to complete, so we will see if they can be effective. Obviously, they're going to give you a lot of efficient trades while the Locusts are up, but then a lot of downtime where the Locusts are on cooldown that you're going to have to work your way through as well. And that's definitely going to be one of the struggles throughout the course of this. The Lings do just about finish that Nidus network off, so we're going to be able to kill that up, get rid of that one. Stalker's getting caught, Nidus is still coming around here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. Good to know, on the Nidus network, SERRAL trying to make sure they don't get a chance to come up, so the more we can kind of deny those, the less time in which the Swarmers are having Locust uptime, right? And the less Locusts you play against, the more efficient it's typically going to end up being for you in total. Medevac goes down, the Swarm is still popping through, the Locusts are going to come out and they're going to try and join as well. A couple of those Cyclones go down already. More Swarm Hosts popping out. We do see the Stalker's going to blink in though, and the Swarm Hosts may regret popping. They do get the Locusts out. The Nidus actually stays alive even for the moment. Obviously, currently you've got two sets of Swarm Hosts on different cooldowns. Some of them have popped earlier, some have popped later. Sometimes it's nice to throw Locusts in that kind of offset kind of periods if you've got enough to back it up or they're still getting value. Because obviously kind of overall means Locusts active at a larger point in the game. But it does mean you don't have all the Locusts ready to go all at once if you need them as well, because there's going to be that difference in timing. So the Lings just continue to come across. Stalkers get pushed away. Just going to have the Infernal Perigneta coming up. A couple Cyclones coming through. The Stalkers are going to still chase in here. A couple of Hellions are trying to retreat over to that side. Those Hellions getting busy onto the mineral line already, going after some workers as well. And you think the Stork's going to get there? Knight's coming through. He's going to fight. A couple of tanks going to be in position. We will have ourselves... I mean, the Swarm was going to get cornered a little bit. They're going to pop out to try and support a couple of units that are here. They're going to get swept under the rug. SERRAL, the leading supplier in this game. There's not been a lot of the 3v3s where he's been the leading supplier. He's actually been bullied a lot. He's been playing stars that don't help him max out a lot. He's not been playing like the big, stronger armies, and he keeps ending up on just having a few supporting units at the end. But this game, he is popping in terms of supply. eThermal struggling. Showtime sitting pretty as well. Spirit Horseman and Lambo, all kind of a little bit on the worse for wear kind of front. Obviously, the Swarm Hosts can try and come forward again. We do see the Locusts popping up. They're going to drop back down. Roaches and Storks are going to fire. Those Locusts actually taking a lot of damage. Roaches still trying to step through at the moment. We will see a few Roaches burrowing up, and they're going to try and make their way forward. And actually going to unburrow to get rid of the Nidus network. So looking to stop the retreat. I love that move. That's so cute. You take down the Nidus network, so you stop the Swarm Host from getting away. Same story over here. SERRAL dominating the Swarm Host right now, shutting them down in every single way. And that's beautiful. Just going to get a bunch of Swarm Host kills. What a play by SERRAL. And that's going to, yeah, okay, Lambo is going to be in trouble now as well. Lambo was the strongest supply, playing with kind of an interesting unit when you're kind of playing the team games as well, in terms of how does it fit in and how can your teammates play around them. But this is, I think, with the Swarm Host going down, it's probably going to be GG. SERRAL, Showtime, and eThermal are good for a Game 1 victory in this best of 5 final. Alrighty, guys. Game 2 coming up. I am going to run ads just in case in 3v3 we might get a long game, right? So just in case, I'm just going to run those ads now. Obviously, if it's a short game, it means we're going to be good to not run ads for the next game anyway, so... just a little bit of something there. Where's our bracket gone? Because I need the map list. Alright, let's jump in. What's up, Stinger? Thank you so much for the 313 sub on the Prime. Keep up the SET support. Hell yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much. Alright, I'm going to try and go into this. This version has been hotfixed, so hopefully there's no problems on it. Tacit Sanctuary going to be the map. So there was a little bit of a base positioning issue on the corner, on the top right and bottom left corner main bases. That's been fixed. If I've got the right version of the map, there was a few, and I think I found the one that's fixed, but we're about to find out. I'm concerned because the upper right base currently has green things on the minimap, which does not look legit, so... oh, looks good. Alright, looks good. I think this version is going to be fine then, as we get ready to go. As we are going to have ourselves Custom, Spirit, and Lambo bottom left, and they are going to find themselves down a game to Showtime, SERRAL, and Uthermal in the top of the map. Game 2 of our best of 5. I need to kill Smile, who keeps on fixing the maps as issues come about. Wardy, what would get you to do marbles after this tournament? I don't know, can I take a nap for the rest of the finals? I don't have the vibes to do marbles today. Maybe next week some marbles, but I'm kind of tired today. I've literally been non-stop since I woke up. I woke up, I had to go to the shop straight away. I came back, I had to take my car somewhere, I had to wait on my car, I came back, had to walk Ellie, came back, streamed. I actually had a great time doing marbles a week or two ago though, so it was a lot of fun, just, yeah, I'm not vibing today. I'm tired, man. I also need to message some players about 2v2 all kill and stuff as well, so yeah, that's the thing. He'll be here next week demanding marbles. Beautiful. Joke's on you, I'm not here next week. Okay, I'm here on Monday next week. Maybe Tuesday. I don't have anything to stream on Tuesday, but maybe we'll make something happen. Because I'm away Wednesday to Sunday. Alright, Twilight Council, a couple stalkers in the warp gate coming about for now. Tuesday all day marbles event. That would be great if I knew enough people were going to be here. The problem is that the marbles works best when we do it straight after StarCraft, because then a bunch of people are here and we're like, whoa, that's fun. We actually get a bunch of people playing, you know. Is remarkable Uthermal? Yes, he is. Facility coming up, gates building. We have ourselves Harston playing off the one base at the moment, so aggression coming through with that blink, it would seem. Spirit gets a starboard start stim on the way. He is expanded. It's just Harston that has not expanded here so far. As yeah, everyone on the other side of the map has expanded too, so yeah, just Harston on the one base for a little bit right now. The 6 gates all coming up and online right now, springing that through, getting that up and running. Oracle heading down the right side. And again, we just wait to see where we're going next. Lambo not building much of anything right now. I think he's powering up Harston, who's now going to 6 gates and a Dark Shrine. Okay. So yeah, I think Lambo is giving Harston a little bit of cash money to play with right now. Well, he doesn't expand himself. That means Harston is going to be the powerhouse in this game for the bottom left blue and purple team. Is it in the rules to have 1 player per race? No. This is just how it turned out. These were open teams. Anyone, you could sign up with 3 Terrans if you wanted to. We obviously had 2 Terrans and a Zerg in ByuN, and SHIN previously. Just so happened the other 3 teams today were Terran, Protoss, Zerg. Which might be kind of, you know, intentional on their part. They might just say, hey, you know what would be good is if we went for a little bit of one of each. When they were asking for teammates and so on, right? Stalker's coming through. A couple Lings get chased. Reaper's on the way up. We add a +1 attack upgrade in as well. And we just have these Stalkers still stepping around looking for that chance and opportunity to maybe make something happen. Overlord going to be in trouble right off the bat. Voidray goes down as well, so that Voidray gets shot down immediately. That's a big deal. So SHOWTIME losing part of his defense. Bunker down. SERRAL has a wall of spine crawlers meanwhile. Oh, love that one Stalker blinking for the stasis. Carlson pulling back now. DT SHIN up 2, going to force the detection to be available. Thermal is building Reapers. I'm not sure how well the Reapers are going to do against a mass of Stalkers. And Spirit is going to be showing up. He's got Marines on the bottom right, probably potentially looking for drops in somewhere. Once again, Lambo is just absolutely feeding Hearthstone's economy right now. That's why Hearthstone's able to afford so many Stalkers. Obviously, it's important that these Stalkers do something because you've got one player that's hemorrhaging themselves to make these Stalkers worthwhile. The Reapers go across the map, going to hit Spirit and try and make Spirit's life miserable. You could maybe make this a one and a half man race if Hearthstone's going to be the last man standing. Still powered by Lambo, so that's kind of like half a man behind him. Queens in the main are trying to deal with the drop that Spirit has, so SERRAL trying to deal with this. SERRAL's supply is up at 60 or so, so it's looking pretty okay. Hearthstone's still at 90 though, but remember that again, that comes with the consequence of Lambo just giving him economy. So Lambo is not having any units showing up. The Stalkers continue to punch on forward. Spirit is, again, just +1 and Marines on the way. He's going to join up to try and help defend against the Mutas of SERRAL that just showed up on the other side. So Spirit just trying to help Lambo stay defensive. Awesome being left to control this game. I mean, Thermal is down at 32 supply. Lambo down to 34 still, as it's just drones and economy from him. He had a couple Spore Crawlers on defensively against the Mutas. Now going to head into Hearthstone's main base. 9 gates from Hearthstone. Again, just this one location. As we are going to see the Stalkers continue fights. Now blink on blink as SHOWTIME Stalkers try to get involved. Hearthstone is going to be supported by Spirit in that main base. Getting rid of SERRAL's main is huge. So SERRAL taking some big losses here. SERRAL tries to add an infestation pit on. Wondering what his goal is trying to be there, actually. Not 100% sure what he wants to try and get to on that one, but happy to see over time what we can go for. Reapers hop up into the main mineral line, going to go after a few probes. You see the Stalkers still chasing those Reapers down. Marines are going to join up. Siege tank is siege. The Stalkers get into the main base, going straight after the orbital command. Damage being done. That orbital is going to get shot down. Stasis does catch. Hearthstone obviously caught in the stasis, but can sit in the high ground a little bit. And he is just going to be forcing Thermal. He's completely killing Thermal, so at the very least they're going to knock this down to a 2-player game. And it's not like SERRAL has been in the greatest of positions because he got attacked in that main base by Spirit. Thermal is in a lot of trouble. SERRAL is still going to play with the Mutas and be annoying, trying to harass down Lambo and just trying to chip away at damage on the other side, but it kind of feels like SHOWTIME is the strongest player left and there's not really a comparison to join up with him. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to have enough. He's going to blink down here. The stasis does help you a lot to give you some time at least against this Hearthstone army, give you an opportunity. Stalker's going to fight, the DT moving around, the Stalker's going to keep on blinking back. It's going to be seeing extra barracks on the way through, command center coming online, Marines and a tank added on. Going to see the Stalkers back and forth. I mean, Hearthstone again has the supply to fight SHOWTIME on his own, but then you've got Spirit, who I'm not sure where Spirit is actually fully at right now, but he's around, he's doing things, he's adding on to this throughout. A little bit crazy. Stalkers will come and trade. He's going to be seeing the Nexus in a little bit of trouble as well and taking some more damage. It's going to go down, so Nexus falls. Stalker's still taking damage as well. The hatchery going down too. I mean, this is Spirit back in the main base of SERRAL. And GG is going to get called. We're going to get tied here. Going to a game 3. It's going to be 1-1 in the finals. Lambo feasting into Hearthstone's economy there to give Hearthstone everything he wanted. Yes, guys, resource sending is just available, and it is something which we have not got a mod on to kind of stop or anything. You can send your resources as much as you want on this one. So, yeah, resource sending is available. Let me get the maps that remain. Bum, 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 bum. Have I seen the suggested patch change this? No. I have not seen anything of the sorts. Waiting for the map pick here. One person can go econ and micro units while the other builds production and tech. Yeah, I mean, feed-in's a very powerful part of the team games, so it is definitely a thing. We might look to turn it off for the 4v4 and the 2v2 all-kill. But yeah, I have to ask permission about that, so... I didn't see Lambo microing though. Usually you can see who's selecting the units, and I was going to bring it up if I saw Lambo selecting them at any point in time. It might just be the colors being similar, maybe made that less obvious, but yeah, I wasn't really, I didn't see at any point the, I didn't see at any point Hearthstone Stalkers being selected by Lambo, at least that I saw, and I obviously was not seeing it at every single point, so it might have still happened, but I think it was mostly just Hearthstone on the micro, guys. I'm just going to get them to swap colors a little bit, and we should be good to go into game 3. It's all tied up right now. But yeah, we might enable the euthermal tax resource tax mod, so that sending resources between teammates is not enabled for some of the future events, because a lot of people, I think in general, not resource trading in the team games typically does make it more interesting overall, so... Yeah, the map was all good. Thank you, Killer. Appreciate it. Good fix. Saved the day. Once again. Crazy. Chili McBilly, thank you so much for the 11-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate you, as we are... I mean, I'm ready to go. We're in for these guys to give us a go-ahead as well. They're all busy yapping or something. 1-1 tied up. You like the resource trading team game for the reason? I think... Here's the thing, though. I think resource trading is good at a certain point. Because the problem is that resource trading, basically... You say it's a team game, but in reality, you're making it less of a team game by resource trading in the way that they trade, because you're basically, as one player, saying you don't play the game. Like, Lambo in that last game built 48 drones and sat there and just sent resources to Hearthstone. That's way less of a team game than Lambo making his own units and being an active part of the game, right? So, I don't disagree. You know, resource trading to help teammates out and stuff, I think is fine. But I think because of just how impactful it is, I think the I think it does need to be kind of restricted early in the game, because otherwise you see that previous game situation. I think in the euthermal 2v2 tournament, they made it so after 7 minutes you could trade resources freely. So that encourages you to obviously be, you know, built up into the game, and then you send resources if someone needs a bit of money, or if they need some help, or if they need a rebuild, or if they have to wait to, you know, build an answer, for example, right? But, yeah, I think the I do think it kind of happening early typically leads to less fun and less interactive situations than otherwise, so... Is unit sharing still on? You can share units, you can share control if you would like to. That's within the teams. They can turn that option on and off in the team settings, basically. I think at the end of the day as well, we've also always experienced high-end team games being based around one player feeding another player. So when you took that away, it was actually a real breath of fresh air. Because a lot of the strategies that dominated in team games didn't dominate as much anymore because they really relied on massing up certain units. And now you can't do that. It opens the door for strategy a little bit more. And like I say, I think having the ability to trade resources is important. I just think that the way that the game is designed, you do just have to take it away early game. Because otherwise, I think that creates the biggest kind of... I think, like I say, I think it just makes it worse initially, and then it's absolutely fine later on. So, yeah. I think 7 minutes is a pretty good point. Pure feed builds are easily counted if the other team is both active and trades. But I mean, you're basically the best way to counter a pure feed build is surely just pure feed yourself. and then you have a 3v3 that's basically a 2v2 with just one guy who has insane economy. Hey, like I said, at the end of the day, like, this is also just an opinion thing too. I know that I definitely enjoyed the 2v2s way more when resource trading got turned off, so... Not off, but like I say, limited for the early minutes. Anyways, 12 team members only got half the resource, so it was expensive to share. Yeah, that was something that I'm pretty sure the resource tax mod lets you play around in the settings, so you can change it to maybe do that as well. But I think the best solution was just 0 tax, but trading turned off until like 7 minutes. Because then you don't punish them later in the game, and you just make it so that it's not possible at the point where it breaks the game, you know? Like I said, it depends what you want out of your team games as well. Like, some people will be die-hard on the feeding, so... There's not really a right or wrong answer, it's just what people prefer. Things are going to show up here. Into this game 3, then, it is going to be a little bit of aggression. That's a hatchery going down, and Lambo is going to be down a base there, so hatchery denied. Wind's coming about, a couple of adepts coming through. We do have the stalkers going in after the oracle. The adepts continue to come around then for a little bit, and a couple of reaper grenades going down too, trying to find a little bit of value so far. Stalkers wanting to get after that oracle, trying to find their way into that bottom right hand side. The flare still coming up here. Maybe seeing the lings and the roaches building through as well. Barracks that flowed into the main base is just going to take some stalker attention for a little while as well. Supplies coming out of this initial phase of the game. Again, just going to compare race to race. Showtime a little bit ahead of Hearthstone Spirit, equal with Uthermal and Lambo, a little bit behind SERRAL. So overall, kind of evens up, but just a little bit of an advantage here or disadvantage there. Everything seems pretty fair and even to play onward with for the moment, though. Roach speed and roaches will come up. The Banshee and the Cloaking coming through. Again, Orbital and Factory coming online as well. Things will pick their way through that hatchery. So hatchery will go down. We'll see a little revelation coming through onto the Stalkers. A single Marine takes a stim forward as well to see what's going on the other side. So looking to take a chance to step in for the moment. Big push from Spirit, actually going to be in position on one of those bases. How well will it be able to keep on doing? We have Hossam backing him up behind that. Lambo, a chunk of units this time around, so he's got his Roach Ravager on this side of the map, also trying to push on in. Roaches and Stalkers trying to hold back a little bit. Garden Shield is up, the Roaches trying to hold position, Stalkers as well. SERRAL is... eThermal is MIA on this fight. He's starting to get a tank into the background. So starting to bring that through, but this is going to mean that this base is in a lot of trouble, and it looks as though Showtime is going to go down on one base here. Because I don't think we're going to be far enough forward to deny these tanks that are sieged, and it does look as though Showtime will be knocked down to the one base situation. Spirit hurting in supply though, and so maybe not everything is sunshine and rainbows here for Spirit, Halston, and Lambo, who are going to be having their economies hit by oracles as well. Showtime getting some revenge for losing his Nexus. It's a lot of probes as well, man. Those oracles are going huge, having an absolutely wild time over there, dishing out the pain. Stalkers come up, Overlords will go down. Two more corrosive bars actually going to land in on the Stalkers as well. So just going to be seeing those dropping straight into places. They are going to try and get forward there. Corrosive bars were on that tank, but Showtime made the blink in to deny it at the same time. Yeah, the supply is still kind of hanging on here for kind of our orange and red team. They are just about standing strong enough to sit in this. The tanks going to be a big deal as these Stalkers come forward. They take a ton of damage from tanks and everything else as well. They were not supported. Halston maybe getting a little bit too trigger happy. He drops to less than 40 supply in the game after that blink in. On the other side, we just about defend this hatchery coming up from Lambo then. He is the leading supply player. And like I say, just Showtime, eThermal, and SERRAL have all been able to maintain such good supply comparatively throughout this. Very even supply as well. No one's lost kind of too much of anything. Like I say, Halston really lost a lot on that blink in previously, so that was majorly ineffective. Feelings will go down there as well. A couple tank shots making good work of it. Take a moment to breathe. Medevacs coming over. It's going to be having the... We're going to unload. Banshee's going to be right there. He's actually nearly getting that Banshee, but it gets cloaked up and no scan to help it out. So that Banshee is going to get away for the moment. We will see that with a chance to get across the map to throw some harassment in as well. Awesome recovering. Again, we do the supply comparison, but SERRAL is up 25 on Lambo, eThermal up 25 or so on Spirit. Showtime up about 30 on Halston. It is truly across the board an advantage on Showtime, eThermal, and SERRAL side. I wouldn't say they're necessarily kind of on bad unit comps or anything in comparison either. It's not like the other team is super teched up or anything. And this Banshee doesn't last long as it picks away through a battery, but obviously doesn't get far enough through to kill it. Just some damage dealt initially. That will be about that as well. Charge and Phoenix both on the way in. Plus 2 missiles, the additional roaches coming about. Going to be there, tank going down. Just going to be seeing the units still pressing down over in this direction. A few Marines are going to fire it up. The roaches take some shots. Spreading out once again. The GT going to be firing through. Roach Ravager starts to collapse in on there. The Stalkers as well. Is it going to be enough? Tank's taking some big battles initially, but they do survive through this also. SERRAL has Roaches and Ravager on the other side as well. Some Marines are going to run in last second from Spirit to try and play cleanup in the back end of this. Crazy part is that Showtime now joins the fight as well, and as Showtime joins the fight, it is going to become a little bit more one-sided once more. eThermal lost a lot of his supplies. SERRAL is still maxed. Showtime running through with good numbers, and GG's will be called. What a defense and a turnaround. When they were getting pressured on that Showtime natural, it really felt like things were going to fall apart for that team. But they kept it together, they did not fall apart, and we are going to end up going into a Game 4 with those guys in the lead, with one map remaining to be played. Or two, if it goes to 2 and 2, obviously. Incognito or Radiator. We have the same maps coming down. I hope it's Incognito, because we only saw that map once so far, because it didn't get played because there's only 4 maps in the previous season, or 3 maps in the previous series. Actually, what didn't get played previously as well? Something else, right? Ah, we didn't. Yeah, we already had. I force picked Battle Peak onto them as well. Okay, so let's see if they pick Incognito or Radiator. Radiator is Lambo. Ooh. That's not what I wanted to hear. Well, maybe it's just going to be a Game 5 when we get to see Incognito one more time. Like I say, it's not a perfect format in terms of seeing all the maps evenly. A little bit relies on, obviously, us getting a lot of games. There's only so much we can do with such a short one-day event. Obviously, if this was 3v3 all week, we could do a bit more to make sure all the maps get equal playtime, etc., etc. But in this case, we're in a scenario where we are obviously just having one day of 3v3, and then tomorrow it's 4v4, and we have new maps all over again. Let's just bring that up. Can we do yellow/red colors? What do you mean? The one team is yellow and red. The other team is blues. We have yellow, red, and orange versus blue, blue, and purple. Showtime ready's up for his squad. Waiting for one of the other guys to ready also. Oh, Rex is in the player slot. Classic. We're missing Spirit. I see. Spirit, join us, and then we should be able to go. And take that as that we are ready. So into Radiator we go. Map number 4 of this best of 5. Countdown into this. Let's go. Top right hand side, going to be the team that needs to win here if they want to stay alive and force a fifth game. It is going to be Hearthstone Lambo and Spirit taking on SERRAL, Showtime, and Youth Thermal in the bottom left, playing it in the reds. Again, this is our last match of the day, so this could be our last game of the day, so thank you again to Monster Energy for sponsoring the event, and thank you so much to all you guys for tuning in and watching it as well. We'll be back tomorrow with 4v4, and then 2v2 all kill on the weekend on Sunday. Looking forward to that. Throw nibbles through a couple of SCVs. We'll take some shots. And a couple of barracks coming up. The hatch gas and pool all coming in as well here for the moment. Yeah, Nexus and Cybercore coming up on both sides. We got this on the way. A couple of dronies coming through as well. Hatch and a pool all coming about just now. Got settled into this for the moment. The Reaper's still on the way. Queens and Lings coming out. That Ling speed is building on both sides. The Reapers will hop in. We start to do some damage. And just try and get some work done as the Reaper's going to get another SCV. It's a bit of shot damage coming through, and Adept going to come by, get some damage done as well. Alien's going to get in, trying to play a little bit of cleanup then. Gonna get some work done over that. The Reapers pulling back and just going to be seeing them jumping up. Actually going to get in for some more probes, so it's going to be Uthermal doing some good damage. Harston taking some shots early in this game and absolutely falling off a little bit initially. Runs have to evacuate as well for SERRAL, just about able to pull back and keep themselves alive for the moment. Things gather up, just going to run in after the Adept, looking for a bit of damage. He all sets up, just going to drop into place as well. A few SCVs continue to come through. Twilight Council and the Gateway all building up, then the barracks still floating on through. Cyclone and a few Marines are going to join together underneath all of that as well. And you'll see the barracks eventually is going to get taken down here, but for now providing a bit of scouting. Things are SERRAL still trying to compete, still trying to find a little bit more value. Oracle's flying, a few SCVs going down already. Cyclone locks on, Oracle comes about. Just going to be seeing the Cyclone doesn't get killed off, the other Cyclone locking on. The Oracle will go down, so an Oracle and the Cyclone get traded out so far. Blink is going to be done in just a couple of moments. Still got that +1 missiles coming through. Plus Macfield Accelerator on the way. A couple of Liberators coming about. Cyclone is locked on. That Oracle is going to get taken out as well. Focus come down. Still got our mutas building through. Melee upgrade and the +1 flyer attack building as well here. It's still coming over. Just going to be seeing a couple of probes getting jumped on. The work is going down. A few Marines and a Cyclone's going to be there. Muta's still pushing about as well. Backfield Accelerator, moments from finishing. Lib's coming up. Roach's missiles and the Roach speed building in as well. Giving SERRAL that setup. Obviously, Lambo playing the Mutas. SHOWTIME going to start building Phoenix, which should really get these mutas shut down and cut out pretty quickly. Cyclone, the Libs, the Marines all stepping over, the Mutaling gathering as well. Muta's going to step through for a moment or so, the Libs are going to be right there. And the couple of Infestors with all the other upgrades continue to come through, and the Oracle gets that stasis ward set up once more. We do have the Mutas just going to come back in. Oh, the Liberators also going to be doing some good splash to those if given the chance, so I feel like we've got a very good anti-muta force already. Don't love that Lambo's still building more of them, but then you're kind of committed to this, so maybe you do just have to try and force it till it works. We have some Ling Bane coming up from him as well, so it's not just mutas, it's just mutas are going to be the majority of what he aims for here. Marine tank +1, all building through still. Just going to see the Roaches coming over, the couple of Infestors stepping across. Things getting on top of the siege tank right there, and the siege tank just about surviving through. The Roaches take the chance to run after the Marine tank for a little bit, in they go. He is still overhead, the Sorka showing up, and we are going to be seeing a cancel on the Nexus, so hey, Lambo is still getting some value out of this. I'm just so afraid of the moment those mutas get caught, because that's going to be a lot of supply lost extremely quickly. SERRAL holding out and is able to hold the ramp and keep things back for the moment as well, so nothing more happening there just yet. Sentry will step about. It's going to be seeing the tank sieging. Liberators, like I said, are going to be interesting because their air counter to the mutas, but if they siege up, they can do a lot of work zoning as well. It's a question of do they want to siege or not. In this case, they will begin to. Mutaling once again, swinging around that left-hand side, so looking to always attack where the opponent isn't. It's been one of the main things we've seen from the Zerg players today, that ability to counter, be quick on your feet, and to be quick to get into positions has been very, very effective from them. Those Libs not going to be great against the Corruptors, but I do like the Corruptors coming out because it does feel like we need something here. The Ravager tank just moving through. Stalker's just going to be coming back. And we're having the Roaches, the Hydra Den, all continue to come up for the moment. Marine's going to get underneath. The Overseer going down. The Viper being chased back as well. So let's get rid of that Liberator too. Spirit supply is way down. I feel like Spirit's not done much in this game. He's had some units around, but like there's nothing being super impactful from him. But he is, unfortunately, one of the ones that's hurting the most right now. Talks come back the other way. The Mutalisks will settle. Nice fungal growth onto the Mutas as well. If only there's anything there to follow up and kind of capitalize on that. The Corruptors are going to split away as the Liberators want to come in and fight. Euthermal surging forward with those at the moment. Stalk's coming back in return, and again trying to threaten to get underneath those Libs at any particular point in time. The Zealots going after the Nexus. Marines going down, so Colossus still pushing through. The Mutas actually making a dive on the Liberators. Parasite bomb onto the Mutalist though is going to hurt a lot of them. We just about split away to stop ourselves losing more at the end. SERRAL looking good on the ground as he chases that Protoss army back, but he doesn't have much else to help with the Mutas. He needs support to get rid of those. Showtime's still almost maxed out. His army is coming back across now as well. We do have a drop on the other side trying to be annoying. Spirit's still sub 100 supply. Lambo and Halston, compared to their opponents and matchups in this, are not quite as up there either, so it is definitely continuing to feel like we have one team, the red, orange, and yellow, looking advantaged at the moment here in this game 4, and that would be a win to tie out the series and tie out the tournament. So Phoenix just kind of diving in there, but too many Corruptors. Base is going down. Rally being found. Lifts on the tanks there as the army does get underneath. The mutas are going to have to back it up. Not going to be able to stick around in this one. SERRAL is still maxed, and he's fighting down the bottom right side against Harsam's army that's trying to push forward here. Has not quite been able to succeed on that journey just yet. The army does get here, though, and that's going to be a Spirit base going down. Of all the players that doesn't want to be losing bases, it's Spirit. He's still sub 100 supply here, and unable to make the difference just yet. Couple Corruptors eating the parasitic bombs this time. They get split away from nicely, so the Vipers not able to do as much this time. Still just worried that we don't ever really deal with Showtime's army. Right now it's looking very strong and as though it's never going to be moving. That doesn't even account for the fact that SERRAL's army is also looking pretty good. It's just SERRAL has not stood as aggressively with his army. He's really been left to defend the bottom right side, and he's been able to do that successfully too. Holding those ramps and holding those positions has been something he's been able to keep going for himself and able to keep into very good position. Showtime's army maybe getting a little bit caught up here, but it is just Protoss versus Protoss. He should have better numbers in that fight. Obviously, some of the Phoenix, for example, may not have the most impact, but they actually are very good against Disruptor. Now, as Stalkers blink in, they want the Colossus. That's why you don't love to play Colossus in PvP, because they do just get blinked on like that if you have no follow-up to stop it happening. Because Showtime has the Phoenix, you can pick off the Disruptor that could have maybe played defense as well, though maybe not had already shot an aggressive shot forward. But it's even one less opportunity to kind of play for and play around. Thermal just still massing up libs and just sieging them up wherever they are needed. Parasitic bombs and mutas again. Lambo being good with the splits on those mutas. The problem is it's just mutas, and the deeper that this game goes, the less opportunities they're finding to harass with, and the more opportunities they're finding to get killed with by. Because, yeah, the answer to the mutas has been up a long time. I'm surprised we're still building mutas at all. I get it in a way, because it's like he's only set up to build Ling Bane otherwise, and this game does not really enable him to play Ling Bane successfully, so I understand why we're still building mutas. I'm just, I guess, just doesn't, you know, yeah, it just doesn't really feel like it helps right now. I feel like nothing helps, though, maybe, for Lambo at this point. And Showtime's obviously just wandering into the opponent's bases. That's never a good sign when hatcheries are going down and your opponent's just straight up in your bases and doesn't seem to care about it. You know you've got a bit of a problem. So that has a lot of ramps, and obviously they've been great defensively on this one side, but then if they do get broken down, it's very hard to push back up those ramps and to retake your position. Youth Thermal has a bunch of bases. I didn't realize he has both corner island bases as well. Yeah, Youth Thermal's low-key kind of rich. How many SCVs does he have? His GG's getting cold. He has 98. He has been sending some money to some of the other guys as well, because he was only building Liberators. GG, Showtime, SERRAL, Youth Thermal will be 3v3 champions today. Taking this one down with a 3-1 scoreline. Congrats to them. There's actually some really fun games in this 3v3 event. Obviously, got a couple of map issues, but we got through them. And awesome to see, actually, just some, like I said, some very genuinely fun games. It was a lot of fun. Tomorrow, guys, we're back with more of the same. When I say more of the same, I mean a little bit different, because we're going to be doing 4v4 tomorrow. So if you guys would like to sign up, it is open entry as well. So I put the link for the 4v4. Yeah, you're very welcome to come and play, guys. It is open entry. Get a team, get some friends, and come and take part in some competition. It was fun. I'm trying multitasking. It's not going well. There we go. Alrighty, cool. Thanks for watching us, guys. Not much else to say from me in terms of an outro. Just thank you to Monster Energy for sponsoring again. We appreciate them as always, and obviously we'll be back tomorrow with the 4v4, and then the 2v2 all-kill mode on Sunday should be a bunch of fun as well. So, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. Cool. Anything else to add? I really don't think there is. I've got a YouTube video ready for the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to have ads in the outro. They obviously help support the channel as well. Thank you so much, Vara, for the 69-month resub as well. Also, Blixen changed from a Prime to a Tier 1 sub. Love to see it. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I say, so 4v4 tomorrow. I'm not here on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll have the 2v2 all-kill event. I still need to do some invites and stuff for that. But basically, there'll be 2 teams, and they send forward a 2v2 matchup. They play a best of 3. One player gets eliminated if they lose, and it just all kills from there until there's no matches left to be played, basically. I think that's how it goes. Might not make it best of 3. Best of 3 might be a bit extreme. Maybe like 12 best of 3s. You have to do the math on that. Maybe we just do 5-player teams, then best of 3. Yeah, maybe we do that. Maybe that'd be a bit better. Best of 1. Yeah, maybe 5-player team, best of 3 would be better, because I actually haven't invited people yet either, so... Working on it, though. Some people have already told me they're interested, so it's just a matter of confirming stuff. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys later. Some ads on the outro, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.